Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Buffalo Fanatics proudly brings to you. Oh, I don't want to do my wrestling bang, but y'all know what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Rico back at it again. This is the Rico Report brought to you by the baddest Buffalo Fanatics. Ladies and gentlemen, happy New Year to you guys. We're gonna try our very best to bring in the new year with I think one of the more entertaining, good-looking, fresh brands out there, and that's the Buffalo Fanatics. And I am proud to bring along with me some of my colleagues, right? Some of the best that's out there. You guys know each and every one of these guys, and it's going to be a fun-packed show. We've got some good content coming your way by some of these pretty faces that you guys know. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce this first individual. This individual I've known we're going on almost 9 years, give or take. We started this thing way back, and it's evolved into what it is today. He doesn't show his face much, but when he does, it's polarizing. Everyone loves this man's face. And without further ado, let me introduce my guy, Pay Money in the building. What's going on?
What's going on, baby? What's going on? Yeah, I don't show my face much, but it's for good reason. It's definitely for good reason. Yeah.
And you know what? And
you're a lot prettier than me, man.
I mean, listen, wife always lets me know, you know what I'm saying, you look good, but she keeps me humble because she says, hey, you may be good looking, but there's a sound that I like. And I'm going to segue into this real good because there's somewhat part of the BF crew that when I hear this man's voice, I instantly know who it is. And I was like, well, who are you talking about? You talking about me? She's like, no. It's that one guy that has the voice of just the voice. And you know what? I started listening to this man a little more, and I was like, I know exactly who she's talking about. She's talking about this man right here. Now, before I introduce this man has a podcast. He's got a great following. He's a good individual. He's a good man, and he's got a show that makes you want to get in the mood and get the humping. Hit the humping and dumping. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce my guy, Joe Miller. Joe Miller in the building.
Doing the Collinsworth slide in.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Miller in the building. Joe, how are you today?
Doing great. How you fellas doing tonight?
We are fantastic.
Excited.
It's a new year.
It's a new year. Amen to that.
Can we start to that? New year. Oh, you know what? I
Amen to the new year.
I filled up the old cuppeth, runneth over.
Amen to the new year.
All-Star Day. I love it.
I like it a lot. Joe, listen, we're so glad to have you on a Friday night.
Appreciate it.
And we're going to get this night started. But before we do, we've got to introduce some more people.
Bring them on.
This individual here is a feisty, snarky individual. Always quick with the words. He's witty, quite entertaining, might I add. And gets himself in some hot water sometimes, but I love it. Controversial, but nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, Steve Mathis.
Me hot water? I don't know what you're talking about. Rico, I got a question for you. Who's your daddy?
Daddy. You got me effed up, man.
I like that one. Oh,
Yo,
man.
you messed me up, and then somebody edited that. It was over. It was game over. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my man Steven the Judge. Judge, how are you today, man?
I'll tell you what. I'm the only one without an actual drink in my hand because I drank all the alcohol in my house. There's nothing left.
Are you running dry?
I'm dry. I'm out.
Oh,
Happy New Year to you, Steve. That's awesome.
He's getting his one-day chip. You're getting your
Exactly.
one-day chip. One-day chip.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
One-day chip. And last but not least, for the first hour, I'm going to introduce I don't know, like this is a smooth talker, very stoic, very poised. And just like that, somebody comes in and introduces and stops the introduction. So you're going to introduce my man with me. This is Dave Moneyman Tilton. What's going on, Dave?
What's up, Rico? Yeah, I bring the balance to Steve's hot water. So you could say I'm the wet blanket to Steve's hot water.
The wet blanket. I like it a lot. I like it all. So, gentlemen, Happy New Year to you guys. I hope you guys brought in the new year healthy, prosperous. I hope you brought it with a vision board that gets you guys ready for the upcoming year, which then brings me to this. Can you guys tell me something that was memorable for you guys in 2020. And I'm going to start with my man Dave. In 2020, something personal and something Bills related. What do you remember from 2020?
All right, so something personal. For those who don't know, my wife is pregnant, and we're expecting our first right here in the next month or so. So
nice.
Something personal for me was this is gonna be my first kid. Obviously, quarantine. We got bored and stuff happened. So that's kind of how it went. But
Bills
honestly,
Bills fan or Packers fan?
Well, see, okay. So little side note. This is a very, very. This is why I know my wife really loves me, because she said if it was the Bills and the Packers in the Super Bowl, and everyone knows my wife's a big Packers fan, she would actually want the Bills to win because of all the pain that we've had in our history. She always says to everybody, my favorite sports fact is that the Bills went to 4 Super Bowls in a row and didn't win any. So I want them to win. So she's letting us have this one, is what she's telling me. Like,
was that passive aggressive? My favorite sports fact is the Bills went to 4 Super Bowls but didn't win. Yeah. That's passive aggressive.
I think it's a shot. Yeah, it's definitely a shot for sure.
But she said she would root for the Bills if they played the Packers. So I got to give her that. And as far as a Bills memory, I think for me, I don't know that you can narrow it down to just one. I think for me, like the highlight, and I mentioned this to Steve and a few others in the last show, the highlight for me was after we struggled a bit in the middle of those middle games against the Chiefs and Titans was we beat the Jets fine. We kicked all those field goals, but then we came out and we beat Seattle. To me, that was like a turning point and like a memorable moment for me in this season, because that kind of set us on the path of the Bills being like the question whether or not we're real or not to, okay, this team is real and how real are they? So for me, that was kind of a really memorable moment in kind of like the middle stages of the season.
And I like it. And you know what? I think Eightfold Baka agrees with you that this is going to be a pretty memorable year, and I got to give a shout out to my guy Eightfold Baka. Bing, biggity, bing! Welcome to the Bing Squad. We are just bringing in new members. I hope that bell didn't really bust your eardrum. But gentlemen, there's probably going to be a lot of bell ringing today. Steve, something memorable personally for you, and what you remember from 2020?
I'll tell you what. For me, I'm going to go with the Air Raid rebrand that we just went through. I think that's the most memorable part of 2020 for me, because I think I liked our name, but I think we needed a little. I think we need a little to spice things up a little bit. And I remember Joe did a podcast like 3, 4, 5 months ago, and he labeled it Air Raid Allen, and he hashtagged it. And he went back and he clicked on the hashtag, and we were I was the only person who had ever hashtagged Air Raid Allen before. And it was in like June, because I was playing Madden and Josh Allen threw for like 6 touchdowns in the game. So I kind of took that and I went to you guys and I was like, hey, can we make like a t-shirt? Can we make a hoodie? And you guys were like, let's go for it. And I think that thing is selling like hotcakes right now. I think everybody's got themselves an Air Raid Allen hoodie, and we got ourselves the new name. So I'm a big fan of that. And I'm a big fan of our pregame show, because I think it gives a lot of new members at BF a voice. Really proud of what we've created before you and before the Bills game. Our writers, Clay, Bot, Knapp, all getting in front of the camera.
Absolutely.
Getting Jeff Landers back in front of a camera. So I was pretty proud of that pregame show that we put together this year.
Man, you know what? That pregame show has been money, and we've been getting a lot of love. And the different faces is what's setting us apart. And it's a rotation. It's never the same faces, which is really cool. Joe, talk to me, man.
Yeah, there's a lot to be. Memories. There's a lot. But if I had to narrow it down, the stuff Dave talked about, clearly what we saw weeks 1 through 4. There's so much to talk about Bills wise. There's so much to talk about, BF family wise. There's so much to talk about just the growth in the network that we've seen. But for me, and if this is too not personal, but for me, the biggest takeaway of this year was the live Magruders event. Just to take the Hump Day hotline on location, even during a pandemic.
Awesome.
But and it's personal for me because I lived in Columbus, Ohio for 13 years. So I was a huge member of the Buffalo Bills message board back in the day. Big time. My name was Direct Effects. I was there every single day, all day long. And then I moved to Columbus, and I never really had interaction with Bills Mafia. So I'd always see all of you guys connecting, or all the groups of people, or the people at over at Hammer's Lot or wherever. And I've never been a part of that. So for me to finally get a chance to connect with a lot of the people that I've been friends with on Twitter, like in face to face, and do a show live in person on location. There was a lot of stress leading up to it, but it worked and it was exciting. I still think that we are BF Fanatics is the only one to ever do that. I don't know that anybody else has ever done a live podcast like that, like on YouTube streaming live. So for me, that's probably my biggest memory.
Big accomplishment. That's a big accomplishment. And what about Bills related?
Bills related. There's a lot. I mean, it's literally it's stacking week after week after week. And the term that I use is living in wildest dreams land. I've talked about it all year that we are literally living in and what I mean by that is like if you had said this to people in the summer or last year, Josh Allen's going to do these things. People be like, not in your wildest dreams. And that to me is it. Like week after week after week, wildest dream lands. Like the last 4 primetime games. Week
man.
After week after week. It's just crazy.
Absolutely. And I got to give a shout out to my guy, Dan Brown. Dan Brown says, what's up, guys? I cut my surf date early. He always shows off when he does this.
Humble brag.
He does this all the time. He thinks he's so slick and then gives a little donation just to rub it in, right? He cut his surf day early to enjoy the show and show guys my support. All 5 of you guys kill it every time you go on air and always bring it 100%. And I have to agree with him. I have to agree. We when we get on the stream, man, each and every one of you guys bring it, and this is what brings the viewers back. And we're going to end, last but not least, with the Kingpin.
Yeah,
bring it to us, man. Something personal that's memorable from 2020 going into 2021, and something you remember from the Bills season from memorable from 2020.
Yeah. No. So as far as I'm gonna piggyback off of Dave. So I found out, I want to say a couple months ago that I'm going to be a grandfather. What? A grandfather? Hey.
A 25-year-old grandfather?
I know. I'm still looking young, but that's going to be pretty awesome. But look, just how much BF has grown in general, especially in 2020. I mean, we were able to build something extremely solid with Joe Miller and the Bills guys, Tilt Money and Steven.
Steven.
Right. But it's just been awesome. Just this entire experience, especially in 2020, with all the heartache that's been going on all year, right? And to be able to have BF, still stay pretty solid and just amazing and absolutely amazing. But as far as a Bills memory is just, knowing the fact that we actually have a franchise quarterback, like that to me is like, I can't get over that, right? We've been in this whole, this rat race of getting the guy for so long, and knowing that we actually have a guy, we're going to be in Super Bowl contention year in and year out. That's awesome.
And I'm going to agree with that, man. And I'm surprised you didn't say, and I was calling that Josh Allen was going to be in contention for MVP. You didn't want to get in there.
I mean,
victory lap.
Yeah.
Victory lap. And I'll end it with myself, right? Personally, the growth of each and every one of you guys on screen right now, from podcasting to now showing your faces, and now people, relating to you guys and you guys building off of that, I think is amazing. It's amazing to see, because you go from being the only person that was doing it to now, yo, everybody jump on there, and you guys are getting mad love, and I love it. Now, the one memory that stands out, and I can't say one memory, but the first 300-yard game Josh Allen threw, that was big. You remember it. You're like, finally, right? And then he follows that up with a 400-yard game and 4 touchdown passes, and then it becomes consistent. You're like, he's arrived. He's arrived. And you're talking to a naysayer. I was like, nah, man, I'm not falling for that. Maybe a Pro Bowler, but this guy has been sensational this year, and that's my memory for 2020. Now,
but real quick, let me piggyback off of that, Rico.
Go ahead, man.
I think that what you just said, as far as just the love that people are showing these guys, that is what brings me most joy. People ask me, hey, why you haven't been on camera? It's because I'm trying to give these guys ultimate shine. And then, seeing the love that they're getting, it brings so much joy to me. Much joy. It's genuine love.
So now that we're done with this love fest, I appreciate it. We got to give a shout out to Miss Sis. I'm gonna say Mrs. or Mr. Who knows? Jesse Parsons. Welcome to the Pink Squad. Let's go. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have a hell of a show, because we got some topics that I'm gonna put these guys to the test. And the first topic is gonna go like this. I'm gonna give this one to my guy Dave Money. Dave Money. John Brown has now been activated to come back onto the roster. Now, how impactful will he be coming back into the fold after being off for 3 to 4 weeks? We've already kind of somewhat got accustomed without him. Does he mess up the feng shui of the offense now that he's coming back right now? What are your thoughts on that?
No, not at all. I don't think he messes it up. I mean, here the reality is he's back this week. I think he's going to play. It's a good time for him to come back, knock some of the rust off in a game that, at the end of the day, ultimately doesn't matter a whole lot for the Bills, but it's a good chance for him to get back into game action this week, assuming he's going to play. He's not on the injury report. He were listed him as full today. He's off the COVID list. So, no, I mean, Josh Allen statistically before the John Brown injury and then after, at least early on, showed that his numbers were better with Brown. Now he's kind of closed that gap now in the last few weeks with some of these performances to make you kind of, I don't want to say forget about him, but it's kind of made you realize that like those statistics with and without John Brown are now not so diverging as they were, right? So I don't think it's going to mess with the feng shui, because I also believe that if for some reason Cole Beasley is not ready to go, you now have some options with Stephon Diggs and Gabriel Davis that you can use in 3 wide receiver sets, where maybe you put John Brown on the outside, Davis on the outside, maybe you throw Diggs in the slot, or you do other things. So I don't think it's going to affect the Bills. I think the timing is actually great, because if for some reason Beasley can't go, you want John Brown back. And no, I mean, he built that chemistry with him. Allen built that chemistry with him last year. So were he a newcomer to the team this year? Maybe. Got that chemistry with him last year. I think Allen's going to be super happy to have him back. I don't think it messes with the feng shui at all.
Okay, so this is perfect. This is going to be a perfect segue to jump into this now. John Brown comes back, so we're like right back to full strength. But now Cole Beasley might be missing some time. Joe, how much is this going to impact Josh Allen's security blanket? Because we all know that the inconsistencies that happen with Dawson Knox. So Cole Beasley has been that reliable guy for those short intermediate passes to get that first down. So Cole Beasley being out, does that change this offense a lot or big or little? Excuse me.
I guess the question is can somebody fill in for Cole? And I can't take credit for what I'm about to say, because the reality is John Fina on the Off Tackle with John Fina show, brought to you only by Buffalo Fanatics. He said on our first episode, that what this team needs to do back then, so 8 weeks ago or whatever it was, maybe it was 5 weeks ago, it was some time ago, is they need to get Josh Allen in a rhythm early and often, short, so 1 to 4 yards, to make up for kind of that running game that's not there. Absolutely. And we saw the Bills start to do that about 4 to 5 weeks ago with Beasley. And make no mistake, that's the reason that this offense is humming the way that it is, because all those guys play back, and then Allen starts hitting underneath the Beasley, the wide receiver screens out in the flats, and then the guys have to come up, and it just opens up the rest of the field. So I think you're going to lose something. There's nobody that's as open as Cole Beasley in the NFL year after year. That's not something I'm making up, and I'm not being a fanboy. That's a fact. You can look it up. The question is who is it going to be? Is it going to be the running backs doing curl routes? Is it going to be the wide receivers out in the flats? Is it going to be somebody else kind of in that slot? Is Isaiah McKenzie, has he been around? It's 2 years. Has he been around Cole Beasley enough to learn what those shift routes are? And Pierre can talk about it because he's a wide receiver. He was I can't believe for a second that McKenzie doesn't have the shift factor, that lateral mobility that Beasley has. So do we see Isaiah McKenzie move into that slot spot and maybe kind of fill that role? I don't know. It potentially could hurt us. Is it going to hurt us this week? I don't think so. I think he's back. I think he's back for the playoffs.
And I want Pierre to jump in on that, because this week is crucial, because this is a I don't want to call it a wasted week, but it's a prep week, I suppose.
Yeah, it's definitely a prep week.
Okay.
Yeah, no. See, look, the phrase quarterback friendly is actually a real phrase, right? I need to know that you're going to be where I need you to be.
That's right.
And Cole has mastered that, right? So as far as to answer Joe's question, I'm not quite sure that McKenzie has the nuances to know, okay, it's man, I have to beat this, it's zone, I have to sit here, right? So, knowing that Cole is that, vital to, Josh's success, I think it'd be a big loss. But I just don't know that we're gonna that he's not going to be ready. Now, I know we made a bunch of signings, so that can be a little telling, but who knows? Who knows?
Okay, so and I'm glad it's like you set me up for it, because we potentially, and the word is we're going to be bringing in the former Dolphins receiver, former Texans receiver, Kenny Stills. Steven, please talk to me on that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you a follow-up question, because Joe mentioned something that was very crucial. We've been able to replace the short, our run game with short intermediate passes of 3 to 4 yards. So that second question is going to go for you, because I know you're a big fan of Zach Moss, and I have a feeling there's a changing of the guard happening. So let's talk on Kenny Stills potentially being added to the Bills and what that impact could be, and then on our running back Zach Moss.
I honestly don't think it's going to have any effect really on the running backs. I don't think you're going to see a change to where we're going to utilize running backs. I think it's Kenny Stills is insurance for both John Brown, and he's insurance for Cole Beasley. So if John Brown comes back and he's limping and he's gimping, well, Kenny Stills, if you look at his career stat line year after year after year, what's the one thing that sticks out on the box score when you're looking at Kenny Stills? It's average yards per catch. It's 15, 16, 17 yards. This guy is a legitimate NFL deep threat. He is sort of like I would say a less refined version of John Brown, because I think John Brown has more nuance to his game and can do more things. But down the field on those deep routes, Kenny Stills does what John Brown does. So if John Brown can't come back healthy, you got Kenny Stills there to fill that void and help stretch your defense. And if if John Brown does come back and you have John Brown's speed on the outside and you have Kenny Stills' speed on the outside, but Cole Beasley's hurting, you can move Stephon Diggs into the slot, and you can utilize Stephon Diggs on those third downs, because he sure as heck knows how to react to man, to zone, and do all those things. And you've even seen him this season moved into the slot on some occasions as well. So I think Kenny Stills is a huge, huge addition leading into the playoffs. And if everybody's healthy, well, we're just a Madden team. We're going to go kick everyone's ass.
Yeah, so 15.6 yards average for Kenny Stills. So, yeah, that's pretty solid.
So now looking at this, and I need you to bring this in, because I think we can all talk about this, the run game. And the playoffs are coming. And we all know that successful teams establish a run game. They have to have some sort of run game. You're going to have to depend on it, kill clock, move the chains, get that short yardage. So, Pierre, I'm going to go to you, and then I'm going to go back to Money Tilt. This run game, have we seen something in the last few weeks that puts trust in this run game, or is it still untrustworthy? We can't trust this run game. What do you think?
Yeah. So I know the easy answer was like, we're not quite there, but I'll make an argument that our running game is solid, because of the last two games when we needed to kill to kill the game in general.
Right.
We've been able to do that. With Zach Moss, I forget the game where we had like a 7-minute drive to end the game. So I think, against the Steelers. So I think we're pretty solid with the running game. And now, look, man, the fact that Josh Allen is playing so good, it kind of makes it, where we don't really need the running game too much.
Well, listen, you're being nice about this. The running game hasn't been anything special. You're being nice. I don't know what it is. And I think Dave Money Tilton, as if he pans away from watching the game, if he could let us know what his thoughts are on the run game.
Him and Judge Bell.
Well, look, we know we're a passing team, right? So we've kind of put the running game to the side a little bit, because we've been so enamored with Josh Allen and what he's done passing the ball, and we've been putting points up, right? But it's a different animal when it comes playoff time, and this team needs to win at least one playoff game for us to not consider the season kind of a wash, honestly. And so for me, I like what they're doing as far as how they're setting up the running game, having Singletary be the guy to start the game and having Moss be the guy to close it out as the guy that can kind of turn those yardage. But I still don't fully trust this team running the ball in short yardage situations. And what I mean by that, if it's like a 3rd and 2 or like a 3rd and 3, I think the coaching staff is more apt to put the ball in Josh Allen's hands on a 3rd and 3 and try to hit Diggs or Beasley than they are to try to tell Zach Moss and this offensive line to get 2 or 3 yards.
Talk about it.
And I hate to say that, but that's the reality that I see on the field right now. I don't trust this team in short yardage situations. Now, they'll pop off 10, 15-yard runs here and there during the game, but is it in crunch time and is it at the end of the game? Now, we did see that in the Steelers game, but that was kind of a one-off, in my opinion. So I still don't have that full trust in the team to convert in short yardage on the ground, and maybe they'll prove me wrong, but I'm still kind of waiting to see that, to where they really put the trust in the backs and in the offensive line to do that, because I think in the playoffs there will be situations where that will be needed. And so I'd like that to be something that we still see us get better at, right? Because we've kind of pushed it to the side.
Go ahead, Joe.
Somebody needs to bring some energy to this show. Now, my show is called the Overreaction Podcast, and I don't do a whole lot of overreacting. However, there are two camps. There's 2 schools inside of Bills Mafia right now. One says we're going to the playoffs. We have to run the football. And then the other side, and there's not a lot of us, it seems like, that live in the world of, we have a football team that can straight up punch you in the face with the pass game. The reality is nobody can stop this offense. Nobody can. I'll admit it. I'm saying these words, and in the football game Monday night against who do we play Monday night? Somebody help me. Who do we play Monday?
With the Patriots?
Past Monday?
The Patriots. It's 4th down, and Josh Allen's dropping back and throwing the football. And I'm like, oh, because not only are they trusting Josh Allen, but they're also trusting the receivers. I think it's overrated. I think there's an aspect to this idea that we have to have a run game. And I'm gonna take it back to the Sabres, because the Sabres actually came up on my show on Wednesday on the Hump Day Hotline. In 2006, the Buffalo Sabres won the President's Cup. They were the best team in hockey. Everybody here remembers it, regardless of whether you were a Sabres fan or not. The fans were in the stands going 1, 2, 3, 4. We want 5. They'd score the 5th goal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We want 6. They'd score 6th goal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They'd score 7th goal, or we want 7. And that's literally what's happening. And they went to the playoffs and they turned into a defensive hockey team. And they were out in the first round, second round. Like, they completely changed who they were. To me, this offense is best as just being who they are. Go to the playoffs and just throw the ball all over the field, because the reality is you've got one of the best quarterbacks in the league, you got one of the best pass blocking lines in the league, and you have the deepest wide receiver core in the league that just got better if they do sign Kenny Stills. Dude, make people stop you. Just make them stop you. Forget the run game.
Do you see this?
Forget the run game. I love it, Joe. I love it.
Do you see this bell, Joe?
Bring it.
Joe actually decided to wake us up today, because he's not really buying all that run game. Yo, throw the damn ball. Don't worry about the pass. If y'all can stop us, then we'll talk about it. Then we'll readjust, because we have a guru up in the booth calling fire plays, and it doesn't stop. And I'm with you, Joe, and that's why you deserve that bell. Now,
but look, just real quick. We need yards, you have Singletary, who's at 4.4 yards a clip. Then you have Zach Moss at 4.3. So we're able to get the yards. It's just, like Joe said, Josh Allen is playing so elite right now that, hey, just give him the rock.
All right. So speaking of Josh Allen,
hang on a second. There was a PFF stat that came out this week, and it said that standing in the pocket, ready to throw, the number 1 quarterback accuracy wise as far as putting the ball in the window, Josh Allen.
Damn.
So why would you even dick around with running the football?
I like
throw it.
Well,
don't worry about the run game. I like
my
it.
question is our running game even bad? Like, it was a problem early in the season, but for what our offense is, our running game is good. You got Devin Singletary coming in, starts the game, knows what he's doing, picks up those 4 or 5 yards per pop, can catch the balls out of the backfield. And we've seen it the last couple of weeks now. Whenever the Buffalo Bills need to close out a game, who is there to help them close out a game? Zach Moss. Zach Moss can get you those tough yards you need. He can bruise for you at the goal line and take some pressure off Josh Allen.
Yep.
We're missing one trait right now in our running game, and that is speed.
Speed. Yep.
Absolutely. So, that is the problem.
That game breaker speed type of guy is missing. I think we'll go out and try to find that person in future off seasons. But for now, for what we need, we are completely fine at running back. And our running game is completely fine.
You know what? I'm going to say something. I think I'll use myself as the example. I think and a lot of others that put the pressure on this run game. We made it feel like it was going to be something epic, because in less games last year, Singletary has 775 yards. We're like, you know what? Next year he's going to kill the game. He had
Agreed.
775, sharing the rock with Frank Gore. He should be able to take over. And then on top of that, we had Zach Moss, which was a bully in Utah. This run game is going to be epic.
Yep.
I think we put a lot more pressure on this run game, and I think expectations were too high. And I have to temper my expectations. And the fact that I'm listening to you guys, and this is why I bring you guys on, because you guys, I like Joe overreact sometimes. Get these guys, get going. You know what I'm saying? I should just need to chill out, let Josh cook, and do what he does. And that's exactly what it is. So, gentlemen, I have to bring something up because playoffs are around the corner. We're playing Miami. Is it an important game? Is it something that, do we have to establish anything in this game? Or is it just like first quarter, let these guys go, bench them, we lose this game, we don't lose this game, we win this game? To you guys, does it matter? Because I went on the ESPN website and I played around with the predictions of the playoffs, this, that, and this third. So I think we can all agree that if the Browns are playing the Steelers have benched Roethlisberger, they're probably going to bench a few other players. The Browns are going to be playing full throttle. They should win this game. Would you guys all agree with me?
I don't.
They should win it.
Hold on.
That's the problem. You're honestly telling me that you guys trust the Browns?
No, I'm saying they should
against
win.
the damn backups.
Against the backups. Mason, have you watched Ben Roethlisberger play football this year? Ben Roethlisberger can't drive the football down the field. He's averaging less yards per, air yards per throw than he's ever averaged in his entire career. It almost looks hard for him to throw the football. I think Mason Rudolph might be a better throwing quarterback or option for that football team right now.
Hold on, Joe. Okay,
He's overreacting.
That's an overreact for real. Okay, go ahead.
I don't trust Ben Roethlisberger. If you've got Cam Newton, and I've talked about this, if you've got Cam Newton who looks like the life has been sucked out of him at the quarterback position in the NFL this year, not having fun, not even close to the person that we've seen his whole entire career, Ben Roethlisberger isn't far behind. He looks like a shell of himself too. I'm not saying that Mason Rudolph is better than Ben Roethlisberger. I would never say that Ben Roethlisberger is going to the Hall of Fame. Period. End of story. First ballot going.
As far as right now, you mean though.
Right now, what I'm saying is that Mason Rudolph is playing the Browns, and there's nothing that those Steelers backups would like better to do than house them and close them out of the playoffs. Just like that's what we want to do to the Dolphins. We want to send the Dolphins home crying as well. I don't have faith in this Browns team at all. That's just me.
Wow, I did not expect that. Pierre, actually, no, not Pierre. Steve looked like he was a little agitated in his chair. Steve, can you?
Well, no, I wasn't agitated. I was just a little shocked when he said that. When he initially said that he thought Mason Rudolph was a better option. The thing with Ben Roethlisberger is Ben's arm hasn't changed. Ben's still got an arm. He just is literally made of like porcelain now. So he has to get that ball out quick because if he gets hit, he will die. So he can't waste any time because if he gets touched, he's screwed. Like he will be on IR for the rest of the year. So that's why Pittsburgh's offense has changed. But I'm pro play the starters, whether it's sit down some key guys like Trey and trust Levi and Josh, sit down Edmonds and play Dodson, sit down Stephon and let John Brown get reacclimated, sit down some key guys, but play a majority of your starters and play some maybe more conservative football so you don't give as much away from the playbook.
Right.
At the end of the day, Tua's playing. Like, I think we could still have a shot with Matt Barkley, but even if Josh Allen plays and only throws the ball 20 times and we play a majority of our defensive starters but still a few key guys, I think we win this football game. Tua's never thrown the ball in the snow. So keep your foot on the neck, pedal to the metal, keep that momentum going, scoreboard watch if you need to, and if Pittsburgh's blown it at halftime, put Barkley in, but play the majority of your starters.
Randy Hartman says, that's not fair, Judge. Ben's held together by Gorilla Glue and duct tape. Now, I will say this about my guy, Ben Roethlisberger. I'll take Ben Roethlisberger's football IQ
for sure
acumen over a Rudolph.
For sure.
And when that Browns defense is not as bad as people may claim they would be. So I feel the Browns do take this game. They need it. They haven't made the playoffs. I think they're the longest team with a drought now. Mm-hmm. They're trying to end that drought. They're motivated, right? So
that's pressure.
That is a lot of pressure. That is correct. That is correct. So then you have the Baltimore.
Keep in mind, we didn't do it either. The Bengals did it for us. Right. Like, it wasn't a situation we had. We beat the Dolphins to get in, but we still needed help. This is a lot of pressure.
That is a lot of pressure. And you know what? We're going to find out what Baker Mayfield's all about.
Oh, yeah.
Can the pressure get to him, or is he going to be cool as a cucumber? Now, Baltimore, I think, is going to win this game, no problem. They're fighting to get in, and they're playing all their starters, so they're going to go in that game. The Colts should be able to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. So based on the calculations, and I based it off of this, if Bills win, Browns win, Baltimore wins, Colts win, we'll be playing the Browns in the playoffs, first round. Now, if the Bills lose and all the other scenarios pan out, we play the Dolphins.
So the Bills still get the 2 seed.
Bills still get the 2 seed.
Yeah.
The only way it happens that the Bills don't get the 2 seed is if Bills lose and the Browns lose.
Steelers win. That's
so
right.
the Steelers get that. Then guess who we play? We play Baltimore. So right now, folks, gentlemen, are you, not that we're fearful of any team, but the question is, who do we match up best with? Playing the Dolphins or the Browns?
Oh, the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Dolphins for sure.
Dolphins.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, come on. I mean, you're
Familiarity.
a rookie Hawaiian kid that played football in Alabama and now plays in Miami, coming to Buffalo in the second week of January.
Give me the Browns. They can't play
Browns.
defense. They can't play defense.
I'm with Judge. Give me the Browns.
I don't know, man. Because look, no, go ahead.
We got to play these. This is if the scenarios work out the way that the matchmaking works, playing a team 3 times and beating them 3 times is much difficult. Now, I take our offense against that Browns defense all day, every day.
Yeah, but it's all about matchups, though, Rico, right? Because
It
it's
is.
like,
It is
okay,
about that. And we don't match up. Listen, they got Byron Jones and Xavier Howard that are playing baller, man to man.
yeah, but look at this though.
No Cole Beasley?
Okay, so you got Josh Allen's rookie season where he struggled, but he played well against the Dolphins, right? His second year, the same thing. Every single time, Josh Allen matches up well against the Dolphins. He dominates. His best games are against the Dolphins.
Him and Mario Williams.
Exactly. Right. So that's why I'm like, okay, as far as matchups, if we're talking about Josh Allen, hey, he seemed to have figured out something, when playing the Dolphins.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think it's a concern with either team, to be honest with you. I
like that too.
Personally, if you're going to tell me I have to pick out of the 3, of course I'll take the Browns and the Dolphins over Baltimore. But
yeah, I don't want to see Baltimore.
I also think that if the Bills are who we want them to be, then we are going to need to have the mindset of that we're going to beat any team that comes our way, regardless of when that happens. Whether it's Baltimore in the second round or the first round, whether it's the Chiefs in the AFC champ, whatever it is, right? We're going to have to beat 3 good teams in the AFC. And I made this point last week, is that the AFC is playoffs teams top to bottom 1 through 7 are better than the NFC's playoff teams.
Oh,
1 through
yeah.
7. So you are going to get a good to great team regardless. Like whatever flaws the Browns have, their defense stinks, fine. They've got a great running game and they've got a good defensive line, fine. The Dolphins, they have a good defense, fine. Okay. And the Ravens, we know about their running game and they've had a pretty good defense most of the year. Lately, it hasn't been great, but it's still been good most of the year. And we know they can pound the rock better than anyone, number 1 rushing team. So, no matter what team you're going to come up against, they're going to have their strengths and weaknesses. So, you can have a preference of who you would want to play in the first round. And if that's just because you want to make sure that you win that first playoff game to get that monkey off your back, to get that box checked, fine. But the expectations are different.
That's a pretty big box, though, Dave.
It's a big box, I understand, but I'm looking past that, right? I think we need to win that game no matter who it is, and that's just the fact. We have to win that game.
I agree. Looking past it, to me, it's not about the record. So I don't give a crap about Allen getting the record. He's going to get it. If they move to 17 games next year, he's going to have the record, whatever. To me, it's about the number 2 seed because the Chiefs are not playing good football. I don't care what anybody says. I've watched the Bills not being in prime time. And when you have the Sunday ticket, it gives you the opportunity to watch the Chiefs. I've watched them. They're not playing good football. Mahomes is Mahomes, but he's not playing great football either. If they lose in the second round of the playoffs, the road to the Super Bowl goes through Buffalo. Let's be honest. Like the reality is the Bills are beating good defenses in the NFL. They beat good defenses last year in the NFL. I don't think we know how good this football team is. What I mean is we're Bills fans.
I agree.
We have rose-covered glasses on, but we're also living in a world of PTSD of they're not really that good. This team might be elite.
I think I've already passed that, Joe. I think as far as right now, I think we're elite. It's very, very hard, seeing what I'm seeing right now that we're not the best team in football.
Now,
Right.
I'm gonna agree with that, because I think a lot of Bills fans are in that they're gonna break our hearts again.
Right.
And it's natural. It's natural for us to feel that
Yeah.
way. But we got to push back past that and just trust. I hate to say it's cliche. We've got to trust the process.
Right.
We've got to trust the process. So I do have a question from my man Dave. Not my man Dave, Steve. Steve, DK asked, Phillips and Shaq got paid leaving Buffalo, and coaching gets a lot of support from players like Klein, Wallace, etc. Could we start getting discounted vets on 1 year looking for big money this coming offseason? What do you think, Steve?
As long as Josh Allen's your quarterback and your offense is averaging 30 points a game,
There it is.
damn right.
There it is.
That's what some of these really good elite teams in the National Football League that have elite quarterbacks that maybe can't afford to stack their defense or stack their offensive line or stack their skill positions. Yeah, exactly. When guys have situations where they have falling outs with their other teams, they want to come to a winning team. They want to come to a competitor. Le'Veon Bell turned down his hometown Miami Dolphins, who are offering him a 3-year contract for a substantial amount of money, as Dave said, to go to the Chiefs for 1 year, $1 million. Kenny Stills asked Houston for his release. He said, listen, you guys aren't going anywhere. It's the last year of my contract. Let me out early. I want to go to a contender. Green Bay called him. He chose Buffalo. So as long as you have a quarterback that's averaging 30 points per game,
Sky's the limit.
Fun. Sky's the limit. These guys will want to come to Buffalo.
Well, that's a question about this week too. Can Tua this week or next week if we face the Dolphins, can he score 30 points on the Bills? No.
I don't think so, and they're too depleted at the receiver, tight end position, running back position, to really go firepower for firepower with the Bills. And I can't remember the last time I said, "Can you hang with the Bills offense?" My goodness. I do have a question that's off the cuff here, gentlemen. In a group chat I was in today, the conversation came up about the roster that we have right now and the job that Bean has done. Now, in the same breath, they decided to poo-poo on Doug Whaley and saying Doug Whaley has no impact on this team. Why is anybody talking about Doug Whaley? I vehemently disagreed, because we have guys on this roster as we speak that is a product of what Whaley brought to the team. Both our safeties, our corner, linebacker in Milano, excuse me. I know you guys make fun of me when I say Milano's name.
You're good.
You know what I'm saying? And most of the 2017 draft. And they poo-poo on Whaley, but praise Bean. And you can do both. Gentlemen, would you guys agree, or do you guys say Whaley destroyed this team, he has no say on this team, or are we all on one boat saying he should get the credit as well as Bean for the success the team is having right now?
He should get some initial credit, right? I mean, how much was he really impacting that draft room in 2017? I don't know, because he was gone right after. So
his whole the whole draft team, the scout team.
Yeah, I don't know, Dave. I think he was 100%, committed to that draft for sure.
Yeah, that's fair. So yes, Trey White, the first pick there, he's an All-Pro. Jerry Hughes was a Whaley signing.
Right.
And Deion Dawkins.
Dawkins was a Whaley draft. So
LaShawn McCoy.
So what I will say about Whaley is that he was good at identifying talent, right? He was good at finding good players. Like I don't think there's a question about that, and I think that maybe he gets a bad rap for that, but he shouldn't. He was good at finding good players. I think where he fell short was the cohesion of the team building aspect and the culture aspect, and being connected with the head coach. And so in my mind, like, Whaley kind of has his hands on this team from, the 2017 draft and some of the signings that he made before that. From a cap situation, I think is where Bean will get the most credit, and obviously Josh Allen is the prize, right? And he's the one thing that stands out probably above all the rest when you're talking about where the Bills came from McDermott and Whaley's first draft, and then after Whaley leaving to Bean coming in. There is some credit that should go to Doug Whaley for some of the players that are still on this team. So I am not a Doug Whaley hater for that reason. I don't think it worked out here. I think he's a good talent evaluator. I think maybe, some of the trades he made, like trading up for Sammy. Sammy was a great player, but did you need to trade up in a class that was deep at wide receiver when Mike Evans went a couple picks later, Odell later on? those are the things where Whaley's going to get questioned.
And you look at Doug Whaley too, like we talk about like Josh Rosen, like, oh, that kid was put in a position to fail, or Sam Darnold, that kid was put in a position to fail. We talk about coaches and quarterbacks that are put in positions to fail all the time.
Yo, please go where I think you're going to go, Steve. Please do that. Go ahead.
Doug Whaley never got to pick his head coach.
Thank you.
Doug Whaley never got to pull the trigger on a quarterback. Buddy Nix wanted E.J. Manuel. Sean McDermott wanted Trey White. From people I trust, from sources I trust, people who are somewhat in the know, Doug wanted number 11.
Wait, say that again. You broke
Sean
up.
Watson.
You're breaking up on us. What'd you say?
Oh. Watson. John Watson was Doug Whaley's guy. Can you hear that? I don't know.
Yeah, you just said that. Yep, you said Deshaun Watson. Yep.
Yeah. So this really put in a position to see. Last press conference in Buffalo was an absolute joke. Now they put him in a position where he couldn't answer any questions. I think Doug Whaley deserves a second chance in the league. Somewhere.
He wasn't privy to it, Steve. He wasn't privy to it.
Yeah. So action they did and worked out, and kudos to the Bills. Right call, but that doesn't mean that Doug Whaley was there. I think the guy's a really good evaluator. They're got somewhere.
I need to add this one thing, and I have a question to follow up with that, unrelated to this. Doug Whaley was in a position at one point where it was the complaint from Bills Mafia was we always let our talent go and they succeed elsewhere.
Yep.
Right? When are we going to start keeping our talent? Well, Doug Whaley was put in a position, unfortunately and fortunately, that he had to shell out coins.
Overpay. In order to keep him.
Exactly.
Who wants to come to Buffalo, right?
Nobody, especially when we're not winning. Right,
Siberia,
whatever you want to call it. So Doug Whaley getting the hammer on top of him, but he was doing things, and he even promised these guys, we tend to let our guys go. This time, I want to keep them. My job is to keep our players. So guess what? I'm going to have to overpay. So he did what the fans were asking him to do. And then when he does it, then there's complaints that, he overpaid. He was terrible. He was a talent evaluator, whether he wasn't good with the money or whatever. The point is, he had to overpay.
I mean, let's be real, though. Like, as far as Whaley, real quick, he gets criticized for two moves. Overpaying for Darius and trading up for Sammy.
Yeah.
That's it. Right? Now,
isn't it?
I mean, of course, he didn't have a quarterback, but, like when he mentioned that, we're in quarterback, purgatory, it's true. Right. I mean, going 8-8 every season, you're never in position to make a, move for a quarterback. But I think he had a bad rap, but I'm a big fan of Whaley.
I don't mean, where to go? I don't mean to take over, but let's be honest, as much as I just put this comment up, he did draft Kiko Alonso. And the legend of Kiko Alonso is something that will still live in infamy in Buffalo for Bills Mafia. He also was the man that pulled the trigger for Kiko for LaShawn. So it wasn't all bad. Right. He had his
Jerry Hughes for Kelvin Shepard.
Right, Jerry Hughes for Kelvin Shepard.
Exactly. Yeah.
Kelvin Shepard. Oh my god. Hey, listen, I didn't mean to bring it to Whaley. It just happened to be on my spirit, and I had to bring it out. Right.
According to as far as bringing in talents, talented top end talented guys, he did it better than probably anyone we had in the
except for Pullian. Yep.
That, other than Pullian, because the Dick Geron Marv Levy thing was a flop, right? I mean, Russ Brandon was a flop. Whaley brought in the best talent of any of those GMs we had, going back to the Donahoe Polian days. So yeah, I mean he gets an unfair rap.
I mean, just look at our best players on our team right now. Our best offensive lineman is Deion Dawkins. Mm-hmm. Our best linebacker, I would say, is Matt Milano. We have the best, safety tandem in football.
Jerry, who's the best defensive lineman we have.
Right, and then we have. One of, if not the best, cornerback in football. That's all Whaley. So, yeah, I mean, he gets a bad rap, but I'm a fan.
Well, now, I do have a question because we're coming on the hour. If you guys, we were going to do the hour spot, but we could fill this thing up to 10 people. I'm just saying. If you guys want to stick around, we can. I do have a question for y'all because right now we're coming down to end of the year awards and 2 awards. It's not really an award, but titles, I can say. Best receiver in the game. And I honestly think it's between Devontae Adams,
for sure,
and Stephon Diggs. And let me just give you guys the numbers. And do numbers matter, right? And in this case, I think they do. So you're looking at a Devontae Adams. He's got 109 catches with 143 targets. He's got 1,300 yards and 17 touchdowns. Unreal.
17?
17. I didn't think he had 17. 17 touchdowns.
They have nobody. They have nobody else to throw to.
Right.
Robert Tonyan.
Okay.
I mean,
perfect.
17?
Thank you, Joe, for bringing that up, because the next receiver up with the most catches, I think, is Tonyan with 50 catches, 51 catches. All right. Moving over to the Bills side, you've got Stephon Diggs that leads the league in receptions with 120, with 158 targets. He leads the league in yards with 1,459 yards and 8 tutties, right? The next receiver is Cole Beasley with 80 catches, right? So the ball is being spread around, but Stephon Diggs is still able to be king. Who wins the best? Who wins the receiver of the year? Best title for receiver of the year based on those two guys.
I mean, 17 touchdowns. I had no idea it was that much. I think that right there alone.
Does that give him the title?
Yeah, I'll give it to Adams.
you have to, because there's nobody else on that team. I mean, you've got Beasley always open. You've got John Brown on the other side of Diggs, and Diggs is Stephon. I mean, he is who he is, and who he is has come out this year with Josh Allen and Brian Dable. But at the end of the day, I mean, Adams is almost doing it by himself with Aaron Jones. Like, they can't cover him, right? I mean, 17 touchdowns means that you can't cover him at all. So it's probably him.
Listen, I got to give it to Adams too. I got to give the edge. And the crazy thing is, the edge may go to Adams at the receiver spot. Does the edge go to quarterback Aaron Rodgers over Josh Allen? I think the edge goes to Rodgers, man.
Do we let the air raid guys answer? How can you shake your head yes to that?
Talk to me.
44 passing touchdowns to 34 passing touchdowns.
Defenses
So
they played against? Defenses they played against?
The air.
Fight.
The name recognition and fewer.
I'm gonna go and sit back for this one.
Dude, I love Judge too much to fight with him. I just want to give him a big old bro hug.
I think
Go ahead.
weapons than Josh Allen too. So I think you could say the less weapons also factors in with the defenses you're playing. If it could cancel each other out, if you're going, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know the defenses that Aaron Rodgers has played against. I'm simply looking at the box score statistics. You got 10 more passing touchdowns. I know Josh Allen makes up for it with his legs. The yards are pretty much equitable, and he's got less turnovers. So to me,
Josh Allen has played
interceptions really sticks out to me.
Josh Allen has had much more difficult opponents to play against from a defensive standpoint. Sorry, he also doesn't have Aaron Jones and that Williams kid on his side, and Aaron Jones is a legit RB1. And we were supposed to come with topics tonight. I came with topics. You know what? One of my topics was we don't have an RB1. We have two. We have an RB2A and an RB2B. That's what we got.
Joe, get into it right now. This is a perfect segue. Go right into it.
So for me, I mean, when you look at yes, Josh Allen probably has more weapons, but at the end of the day, he's played harder competition, and he does not have the help of a run game. He's had to create that momentum, create that flow. He's had to find that rhythm with his offense. Granted, Dable is up there, but you're looking at a completely different quarterback. If you go back and watch that Patriots game from this weekend, if you get a chance, if you haven't already, there's a couple end zone shots, or if you've got the all 22, where Allen's back there standing in the pocket, and like the entire middle of the field is open for him to take off into.
And he doesn't do it.
Completely open, and he doesn't do it, and then he'll break out to his right, and then he'll hit a guy breaking out to his right. Versus in 18, he was drop back, hit 3 steps, go. Hit 5 steps, go. Like, he wasn't even looking for a read. It was like, I'm out of here. 19, we started to see the kind of, maybe I'm figuring this out. Oh, I got sacked, right? I mean, and this year, he's a completely different quarter. In my opinion, at what Allen is, I hate the whole, yeah, but it's Aaron Rodgers. I love Aaron Rodgers. I love the Packers. Favre was there. But it's not about last year and the year before and the year before and Aaron Rodgers. It's about this year. Yeah. It's about right now. And Josh Allen, what Josh Allen is doing is just another.
And just to piggyback off of that, Joe, like a lot of people, hey, how did you know that he was going to be? No, it wasn't. They didn't just say it, right? Like, it was one of those things to where in the offseason, one of the biggest reasons as to why I was like, you know what, I think Josh is going to take that step is because every time they asked the defense about Josh, during training camp, they consistently said, he's processing a lot faster now.
Yep.
Right? And that is big. That's humongous, right? So he's able to use his talents, but if you can't process, if you don't know where to go pre-snap, if you don't, the fact that he's able to do that is big. That's why, he took that step.
So you want to talk about running backs, Rico? I apologize.
Yes. No. Listen, I want you to get into your question because I know you wanted to talk about. I wanted you guys to bring a topic each, and you know what? We're gonna go over the hour if you guys are good. If you guys have to take off, by all means. But impromptu, this is the Rico Report. If the fire is here, let's keep it burning. So let's go. So Joe, let's start off with you. If you wanted to take, I wanted you to bring up your topic and get into it.
So anybody can take this, but for me, and I've got several. I mean, we can talk about whatever. And I know we're at week 17. We've all got takes. We've all got things that we've been talking about for weeks. You know, I love every single person on this panel and the people that are in the waiting room getting ready to come on. Like, I've got a lot of love for just the creativity and the content that Fanatics brings. For me, one of the big ones is, and it goes along with the whole being who we are. But the fact of the matter is this team does not have an RB1. I love Devin Singletary. I loved what he did last year. I had great hopes that he would build upon that this year. I'm not a football player. I didn't play at the collegiate level like Pierre did. I'm not John Fina. By the way, John Fina is in the house. He's watching, so everybody be careful what you say.
Shout out to John Fina.
He texted me and told me. So, but I would tell you this. You know, I don't know what's going on that didn't allow Singletary to kind of build on what he did last year. But we were a little bit rope-a-doped by Moss. I like Moss. But when you come out and you tell people, I'm going to make people make business decisions.
I hate that.
And then you don't. It's just like, it burns me a little bit. This team is still an RB1 away from probably being one of the best offenses the NFL has ever seen. And I would put the greatest show on turf into that conversation. Like, we have an RB2A and an RB2B. We do not have an RB1. And for me, that is one of those things that you're going to see Brandon Beane go after in this offseason. I don't know what that means for
that's a hot take.
But I think that they go find an RB1.
Le'Veon Bell.
We don't have the offense. We don't have
that
the
was a dodged bullet right there. I was on the Bell train, and the only reason I was on the Bell train was because it was like third quarter woes. I was like, if we're up by 3 scores, give it to Bell and let him smash people in the head. Like, let him just crush people. Right. But Bell has lost a step. But you're going to see Beane go after an RB1 in this offseason.
I vehemently disagree. Because
go for it.
Talk on it.
Number one, I don't think we have the offense to feed an RB1. I don't think we have the offense to give the RB1 the 18 to 20 carries an RB1 is going to win a game. And on top of that, I think that's exactly what Brandon Beane is looking for, a 2A and a 2B. Zach Moss, you said he's not helping people he's not making people make business decisions. Zach Moss has come on really strong the last couple of games. And he's helping us close out football games. I think that's exactly what they wanted from Zach Moss. Zach Moss is your closer. Now, where I think the Buffalo Bills might try to improve, maybe not this offseason because I think money's going to be tight because of COVID, but in future off seasons, is I think you could see Devin Singletary shift into that TJ Yeldon role where that guy's going to have to work himself onto the field and might not see a second contract. And the Buffalo Bills will try to find a 2A with speed. A guy who's got more game-breaking speed.
Lots of hot takes.
A better pass catcher. So that, for me, would be where the Bills would try to upgrade. But I don't think you're going to see a lot of veterans on big money deals. I think it's mostly going to come in the middle rounds of the draft or the scrap heap of free agency trying to salvage a guy or going out and getting that guy who, burned out in his other team and is looking to rebound somewhere where he can be successful. That's where the Bills are going to look for the ring because Brandon Beane understands how the money works, and he's not going to want to invest a lot of money in RB1.
I love everything you just said. It's just hard for me to watch this football team go against the Patriots that gave up 250 yards on the ground, off tackling around the outside, and Singletary and Moss can't get out there. So speed, to your point, a Myles Gaskin. Imagine Myles Gaskin in this offense, right? And like
Matt Breida
in this offense. I mean,
hold on.
Mostert in this offense. Like, Christian Wade. I don't know. Christian Wade in this
I gotta give Moss and Singletary, some props, right? I know you guys are bashing my guys.
Whoa,
right?
nobody's bashing here.
But I don't know. But look, it's like I said before. Moss is they're both at 4 point, whatever, a carry. But again, it's all about reps. It's like I said about wide receivers. It's all about targets, right? You can't really judge a wide receiver if they're not getting targets. If they're not getting carries, it's hard for a running back to kind of get going. I'm Rico, it's like one of those things where I need carries, right?
Sure.
You have Zach Moss averaging 9 carries a game and Devin Singletary averaging 10.
Yeah,
it's hard to get anything going with that.
To that point, there's a case in the NFL where that came true this year for a rookie running back, and that was Jonathan Taylor. In the middle of the season, the Colts were going away from Jonathan Taylor and giving Nyheim Hines the ball a lot, even in between the tackles. And Jonathan Taylor was getting like 7 to 10 carries a game.
Right.
He wasn't in rhythm. He wasn't breaking off runs. And look what the Colts did with him now towards the end of the year. They're giving him his 18 to 20 carries a game. And the dude's averaging 5 yards a carry or more and putting the ball in the end zone.
Yeah.
And he's showing what he can do when he gets in rhythm. So I think there is something to that.
They need carries, yeah.
And Dave, I want you to stay on the spotlight's gonna be on you now because I told you to bring a topic. Hit me with your topic, sir. What do you got?
So my topic is talking about how the expectations have changed from before the season to now. Okay, so before the season, a lot of the talk was we need to win a playoff game this year, whether it's a home game or not. We just need to win that playoff game. And I think that was a reasonable expectation at the beginning of the season because we thought after losing to the Texans last year, if Josh Allen took another step into 2020, that for the Bills and their progression as a franchise into where we want to get to, winning a playoff game was kind of the bar. But I'm here to tell you that those expectations should be changed now for everyone. Your expectations now should not be to just to win one playoff game. Your expectations for this team, as we've said, Pierre said it, Joe said it, we might be the best team in the NFL right now. Every team has their strengths and weaknesses, including the Chiefs, including the Packers. The Bills fans, I'll say, and the team should be confident enough to know that this team is talented enough to go to the Super Bowl and win it. So I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm saying my expectations now have changed from winning one playoff game to now the bar is higher. Okay. The bar has gotten higher as the season has gone on and the expectations have changed. And my feeling now almost is like, if we don't make it to the AFC Championship game,
no, it's Super Bowl or bust. That's where I'm at.
So for me, it's changed, and I'm not trying to move the goalposts. I'm just trying to say like my expectations have changed as the season.
And it's fair. It's fair with what they've given us, what they've the product that they're putting onto the field has us where we're like, okay, you should be able to make it to the damn Super Bowl. Nonetheless, the AFC Championship. But first things first, we got to get out of the first round. Yeah, that first round is a must.
Until if Trey Wingo can move the goalpost, till you can too.
I like that you called him out, by the way. And
I like that, Joe. I like that.
I like that a lot.
It was nice.
That was
Steve,
good,
hit us with your topic, man. Talk to us.
My topic was actually running backs. I was going to say my question was going to be who would have the better career as a Buffalo Bill, Devin Singletary or Zach Moss. When all is said and done and their careers are over, who do we look back upon as the better running back in Buffalo? My answer was going to be Zach Moss because you mentioned earlier that, Rico, that you think that there's sort of a changing of the guard a little bit.
Absolutely.
I think Zach Moss is the closer. I think Zach Moss has a defined role on this football team over the course of his rookie contract. He's going to be the guy on the goal line. He's going to be the guy to close out football games. He's going to be that guy who has a role. And I think that leaves Singletary as your 1A. And he's a guy who I think could shift into that TJ Yeldon role as the Buffalo Bills look for speed heading into the future. So as much as I love Devin Singletary as a running back, I think he could be moving towards a TJ Yeldon type of reserve spot in the future as we look for more of a 2A speed guy. And that when his rookie contract is up, Devin Singletary will probably leave for greener pastures to look for more of a role somewhere else.
It's so hard because Singletary, like, he's got such elite movement.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
like that one move that he put on, I don't remember what game it was, a couple games ago, where he just stopped.
Yes,
like,
on a time.
It was Barry Sanders-esque. If he was 0.3 of a second faster.
Absolutely.
But he couldn't get to the edge on the goal line against the Pats. We need a speed guy.
I know I was giving Jay Spence a hard time, during the offseason about, the Devin Singletary, Zach Moss thing. And even I have to admit, Zach Moss looks like he might be, the better option right now, only because of the fact that, Devin just doesn't have that speed, man. And,
let me tell you what right now, what I see from Zach Moss. Zach Moss, the game is it's too fast for him. He's still, while the ball's in his hand, he's still processing where he's supposed to go. Once that game slows down, he sees that hole, it's going to be dangerous for the opposition. Right now, it's too fast for him. And he's not quite there yet. but he will. And I think it's starting to change. Watch playoff time. You're going to see a lot more Zach than you will Devin Singletary. Gentlemen, we are at the 9 minute mark, the 9 o'clock mark, excuse me. And we've got, if you guys want to stick around, by all means stick around, because I'm about to start piling in the rest of the BF squad. I think it's going to be lit because we've never done this before. So you know what? Let's do it right now. We got Casey joining us. He's surprised. He's like, what? Who, me? We got our guy B-Rye. I'm going to call him B-Rye. What's going on, B-Rye? We got our guy Jeff Landers. What's going on, Jeff?
What's up, fellas?
We got my Canadian Manny. What's going on, Manny?
Good, man. Good.
We good? And then
yo.
I'm gonna have to get skinny. Like I'm gonna get really skinny.
What up, guys?
This is the square.
Yo, man. This right here is absolutely amazing. Like, this just brought me joy. Look at the amount of talent we have right here.
Oh, it's so
awesome.
beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Talent. I deny all of those accusations. Talent.
I do have to talk about. Let me get me on the screen. There's something on this man's face right now that I see the mustache. He's good for you, man. We're not even in November, and you're still rocking that mustache. I love it.
It's literally, I don't remember. It was Mookie, I think, that brought up Josh Allen's mustache early on, like early in the season. And Josh's response was, "Hey, come on, man, I'm doing the best I can."
Yeah, look, I think that's exactly what I said to Judge and Tilt and Jeff on Sunday, actually, when they brought it up. And it only happened because I think actually it was Judge and Tilt mentioned something about it, and the Bills got it when I was like, well, I got to keep it now. So it's just here for the rest of the season. And I'm not going to lie, I'm going back to work on Monday, and we got to do some Zoom calls, and I'm a little nervous for that. I might have to shut the video off.
Well, gentlemen, I appreciate you guys tuning in. So earlier in the show, we were asking the panel right above, what was memorable for you in 2020, for you personally, and for what the Bills have been doing. So Nap, I'm gonna start with you, man. So what personally has been really memorable for you, and what about the Bills? What stood out for you for the Bills?
So personally, it's been just being able to start my podcast and have something like that to look forward to, and not only that, but like I live in Columbus, Ohio, so I'm not around Bills fans all the time.
Go Bucks!
And it's been go Bucks! I got the game on the TV. I can't see it right now. It's my apartment's a little flipped, so. Now. I'm doing the best I can, but so it's been really cool for me to get to interact with a lot of new Bills fans that I haven't actually been able to meet in person or anything like that. And then obviously all of you guys and the rest of the BF team, because like I love what I have going in Ohio, but like the one thing that's been missing is I don't have that same interaction with Bills fans that I used to have when I was living in Rochester. So that's been awesome for me personally, is doing that, seeing how that's kind of grown, being brought into the team, getting to interact with a lot of Bills fans. But then for the Bills, I guess mine would be just seeing how big of a jump this team has actually made. Because I expected them to be good, but I didn't expect them to be as good as fast as they have been this year. Like it felt like they just clicked right away, and that wasn't something I expected at all. Like I expected a slow start with the weird off season and everything, and everything just got rolling right away, and that's been awesome to see the connections and how that's all grown with the team. That's awesome, man. And you know what? We touched on it earlier, man. It's AFC to Super Bowl, AFC Championship to Super Bowl or bust. Like I'm that confident. I think we're all in the same boat by how confident we are in this team. So I think good things are coming our way, man. Manny, the mighty D, what's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. Just enjoying cold weather here.
Cold weather, yo. You're out west, so I get it.
Yeah,
I totally get it. I want nothing to do with that. So talk to us. What's something memorable about you personally and about the Bills?
Just like Nap, for me, it was starting the podcast with Casey. That was a big thing for me personally, and him asking me, which was kind of a shock at first. So it's something new, and I'm trying to get better at it. As you can see, I got shafted to the basement. Family threw me downstairs.
There you go.
During COVID, but trying to work things out and get better at the podcasting thing.
There you go. What about Bills? Anything memorable for you?
Honestly, before this season, I told all my buddies, you have to draft Josh Allen. this is his year, and I see his progression getting better and better. You could see that he's making those changes for the better, and I believed in him. I still believe in him. That was my biggest thing. As far as Josh Allen goes, that's how far the Bills will go.
Okay, you know what? I think we're all in agreement on that. Josh Allen has been leading this team. They honestly, they love this guy.
Yeah.
They absolutely love this guy, and he's a great leader. And it shows. It shows right on TV, on screen. He's in the locker room, on the sideline. You can just tell. There's a presence about him. There's my guy B-Rye breaking tables. What's going on, man? Talk to us.
What's going on, guys? Happy New Year's, everybody. How are y'all doing?
Happy New Year's, man.
Happy New
Year's.
For sure.
Even got my special guest with me, Josh Allen. Josh, you want to say something to everybody? Nah. Good. Get some rest, buddy. Get some rest. Man, this year was definitely crazy. Pandemic hit. I was out of work for a few months, so it really allowed me to kind of get into my podcast and really kind of figure out what I want to do. And that's, Buffalo Bills, talk Buffalo Bills, and they're doing amazing right now. And when they came down here to Miami, I lived down here in Miami, and I ended up watching them. I went to that game, and that was probably one of my most favorite games I ever watched, just because I was there, and not a lot of fans, unfortunately, right now can say that.
Right.
So I'm actually excited to get that home playoff game, and I'm glad that there are 6,700 people that are going. So that's a good on them.
And I'm gonna say about the Bills. What stands out for you, man? Anything memorable?
Oh man, it's Josh Allen. It's just the GOAT. We don't know where his ceiling is. We see Mahomes, like, all right, that looks like that's all he's got. Aaron Rodgers, we know what he has. The scary thing is nobody knows where Josh Allen's ceiling is. It's like, what? He can get better. This is his third year, and his jump from 2 to 3 was just like amazing, unreal. Exactly.
Unreal for sure. I appreciate that, Brian. My guy Casey, the betting man, the man that's making a lot of people money.
Let me tell you. Speaking of being a degenerate, Nap, I'm not like you, man. Like, I'm not going to sit there and pretend like I'm not watching the game. I've got 150 inches of Ohio State and Clemson sitting in front of me right now, and I'm watching it because here's the thing.
Hey, I put the game up on my phone, so I got to go now.
No one cares now. This is my time. I didn't interrupt you during your time. Just be polite. So I actually have a couple of bets on this game. So if you see my eyes dart up, it's because I really need Clemson to make a stop real quick, and they don't. Wide open touchdown, 21-14, Ohio State on top.
There you go.
So we were talking about
something personal, something personal that's memorable for you for 2020, and something about the Bills as well.
Y'all ever heard of that app? What is it, like Time Hop or something like that? Y'all have that? So look, my best friend has it, and I thought it was a dumb little thing, but here I am, and I have it downloaded, right? So I get it on my app, and I'm going through it. And obviously, this time last year, Bills Mafia is getting excited, and you can see where I've tweeted, right? And it's so funny because this time last year, I was not part of the squad. Like, I was not with Buffalo Fanatics. Right. And it's so funny to go back there and see me retweeting Buffalo Fanatics things and not realizing, right, what I was doing and what I was about to get in part of. And then all of a sudden, boom, I'm getting brought into the crew. It's awesome. And then I think the biggest thing for me was I wrote an article in the offseason. Some idiot, right, decided to come out and say we needed less sports in our lives. We just needed less sports going around, right? And I was like, this is the dumbest thing in the world, right? Because the only thing in my life that brings me joy is sports. Whether it's football, whether it's hockey, whether it's baseball, whether it's basketball, it doesn't matter to me, right? I was watching lacrosse last year. Like, I was getting into it. I'm here for sports, right? So I wrote this big, long article about how me and my wife, we start connecting through sports. She hates sports. She can't stand it, but yet she's been upstairs with me all day long watching football, right?
You got it.
But that's the thing that brought us together. And I went on to say, I fell in love with her at a Nashville Predators game when she started booing the refs and stuff like that. And I knew that I was going to marry her.
That's the one, yep.
Yeah, and I knew all these things. And I wrote this in the article. And in the article, I wrote a paragraph. And this was before the season. I said, I want my family to grow, right? And I don't want to bring children into this world during a drought, right? I want it to win a Super Bowl. And then all of a sudden, right now, my wife is expecting, right?
There you go.
And we're going to win a Super Bowl. Like that's it. So
That's
right
awesome.
there
That's awesome.
It's just amazing to me.
You're speaking it into
So,
existence. I like
that's
that.
awesome.
Casey.
I know. So I'm here for it. I'm here for Buffalo Fanatics. I'm ready to rock and roll.
And,
That's awesome.
listen, what's memorable this season? I don't want to hear Josh Allen. Give me something.
No.
different.
And I'm sick of that. And you're right. That's a cop out answer. That's such a Kyle Naps answer, right? And
That wasn't even my answer, man. Come on.
Wow.
It was my answer though. I don't know, man.
That's such a Pierre Kingpin answer. Like I don't want that, right? What I want to talk about is I want to talk about the young players on Buffalo, the Buffalo Bills. I want to talk about the young players and how awesome it is to see them grow, right? We're talking Gabriel Davis. We're talking to Zach Moss. I was listening to y'all talk about Zach Moss in and out, right? Watching those players grow and knowing that we don't have to go out and spend a ton of money in free agency, knowing that it's all homegrown and that there's going to be future stars on this team. That right there, that's awesome to see.
I like that. By the way, you got a new nickname, Dontude. It's called. Oh, hold on a second. It was Daddy Cash Out.
That's it.
Call you Daddy
That's
Cash
it.
Out.
That's it. I'm ready for it.
There we go. And last but not least, it's our guy, the vet, Jeff Landers. Jeff, how are you doing today, man?
I'm good. You call me the vet, but I'm probably the newest one here.
Well, you know what? You got the experience in this thing, right? So talk to us, man. Something memorable personally, and something about this Bills team that's doing it for you this year.
Yeah, so personally, it's been a rough year with the COVID and all of that stuff, and we own an FDA-approved bottling water facility, so we can't risk going anywhere and bringing that virus in. So it's been home and work, and it's been pretty rough, a pretty challenging time just doing that, not doing what you're so accustomed to through COVID, but we've been blessed that we haven't gotten it. We've been healthy. But about 2 or 3 days into the year 2020, my then 4-year-old daughter told me to stop mansplaining. And I knew I had lost the decade with this girl. I lost the decade 3 days in with this girl. She's now 5 and she talks even more. Dad, you're such an idiot.
Did she say she told you to stop mansplaining?
Yes. Yep.
She didn't tell you to stop manscaping, though.
Yeah, I was saying you're still manscaping, right?
Because speaking of manscaping, I was just about to say that if you guys aren't taking care of your business, like Dave, like Steve, like Pierre, like Manny, like all these gentlemen in here, you guys can get 20% off by taking care of them boys. Ladies and gentlemen, stop taking balls to the face like John Brown was earlier this year. Take care of yourself.
Amen.
Take care of your boys. 10% each ball. And I'm going to pass on. I'm going to pass on the information back.
Wait. Why if you don't manscape, does that mean you're taking balls to the face? Like, wait.
Yeah. I was wondering the same thing.
Wait.
I don't make the rules.
It's either you manscape or balls are coming to the face. Oh man,
balls come to the face. Take care of yourself. Take care of the
balls.
And
I do have a Bills memory. So very thankful for my wife and my family during this year, during 2020, helping me keep it together. But my Bills favorite memory was on March 7th. I was full of sake and about 4 or 5 beers at this time. So on March 7th, I texted my friend here in Idaho Falls, Idaho, who's a huge Bills fan. His name is Matt. I said, we just traded for Stephon Diggs. He goes, what? Is that true? Nope, I'm just bored as fuck. I'm also a bunch of sake and at least 4 beers deep. Sorry, bro. And we go on to talk. And he goes, remind me, it was about that day. He goes, it was about a year ago we had reportedly had a trade for AB in place. And yeah, we dodged a bullet there, guy. And then a week later, 9 days later, I think it was the 16th, we actually traded for Stephon Diggs. So spoke it into existence.
There you go.
And we got the league's #1 receiver. So
there you go. Say it again.
The league's #1 receiver.
So are you speaking us into existence for the Super Bowl? Can I just hear you say it once?
We're going to win the Super Bowl.
There it is.
Okay. All right. I have sat on this and not wanted to say it, but I'm with my boys. About a week, maybe a week before or the week of the playoff game last year at Houston, I had a dream that the Bills had won the Super Bowl and I missed it going to it, and I didn't know why. And I was pissed because I had to settle for just the T-shirt. And I didn't know why I couldn't go to the Super Bowl in the dream. The Bills had won, and I was pissed that I had to settle for the T-shirt. So I'm hoping and praying that was an actual premonition.
The Buffalo Bills went to the Super Bowl, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt.
Exactly.
There's your T-shirt right there. I like it. I like it a lot. Now, gentlemen, I asked you guys to bring up a topic that you guys wanted to touch on. So I'm gonna give the platform to Brian. B-Ryan. Talk to us. What's on the docket?
Speaking of Super Bowl, when we do win the Super Bowl this year, that besides that golden statue that they're going to post outside of Orchard Park, that's going to be automatically the best team Buffalo Bills has ever had. I know that your Jim Kelly years, guys. I'm sorry, I love them, the whole Buffalo Bills and those guys from the bottom of my heart, but when we win that Super Bowl, that's automatic jump up to number one in that line. Number one in that line. Come on, guys.
At the head of the table. Josh Allen will be at the head of the table.
Exactly.
Damn right.
For sure.
Exactly. You got Jim Kelly and Andre Reed and all those guys, Sir McThomas, and it's like the one picture with got Jesus in the middle,
all the disciples,
all those guys, all your disciples, and Josh Allen center of that table.
Can I ask a question to the point at the beginning? We're talking about pictures. Who created the picture before this season of Josh Allen holding the trophy with like Diggs behind him and everybody around him?
Oh,
I don't know, but I love Jerry Hughes's face in that photo because you can apply that picture to so many memes, especially like how does Manish Mehta still cover the New York Jets back then? Jerry Hughes. I don't know.
You can do that. That's right.
How did we win the Super Bowl? Jerry Hughes. I don't know.
I don't know.
Well,
listen, and guys, sorry, my friend Matt, who I trolled with the Stephon Diggs, he just texted me and said we just won the Super Bowl about a month before we do. So
it's gonna happen.
We'll take that. We'll take that all.
Speak it into existence.
So did you want to hit that topic that you wanted to hit, Brian? I don't know if you got to it.
Yep. Yeah. So this week, while Josh Allen sits out, let's treat this game like a preseason game where they'll play maybe a quarter. Let them play a quarter, if anything, and then you start benching your starters. And who cares if you win or lose? Let's go into the playoffs healthy, completely healthy, not worried about any injury. And you bring in Christian Wade. I want to see Christian Wade. This is last year.
No.
Last year.
Last year. He can't play. He actually can't play.
Whoa, he can't play.
He
can't play. He's on the international program, which means when the Buffalo Bills put him on the practice squad, he was the 11th man on the practice squad, which means that he legally cannot be called up this season. So the earliest Christian Wade can play is week one of next season.
And he won't be on the team.
I'm sorry.
Man,
he won't be on the team.
I love that. I want to see him just get out there and just get nasty, but I forgot about that one. Man.
There it is.
Yes. Come on, Josh. How are you going to like that one?
Josh Norman looks like he lost his virginity in that picture.
You know what? That's an awesome picture, though, man. I cannot wait. If this thing happens, boy, Buffalo is going to be on fire. On fire. I'm gonna move it over to Nap. Nap, what's your topic for the night?
So I want to ask you guys a question for this. Like, since the playoffs are coming up, like we don't know who we're playing. We have 5 different teams that we could play in the first round.
I know who's going to be there. This guy.
Yeah.
Humble brag.
Yeah, and I am super jealous about that. That is awesome.
That is going to be cool.
So you're gonna have to be extra loud when you're there for everybody else.
Can you get on StreamYard and give us the shot from your seats?
Yes.
Actually, what I prefer to hear from Joe is I want you to be that guy. Hey. That's what I need to hear.
I remember when
I want to hear that on the broadcast, but I want to know that it's from you.
Freaking Miami Dolphins. We're playing the Miami Dolphins on Thursday Night Football. I'm in Miami. Like, we're walking into the game. People are already wasted. I'm like, oh, Jesus, I hate it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So, Nab, hit us up, man. What do you got?
So my question for everybody is who do you most want to play in the first round, and who would you least like to see in the first round? Because I don't think there's any team that the Bills should actually be scared of. But I think there's teams that they should be more cautious of playing or like wanting to play. And obviously it's not something that we can control. But who would you be happiest to see in the first round? Personally, I think I'd be happiest to see either Miami or Indy. And I would not want to see the Titans. But that's me. I'm actually interested to hear from everybody else, though, because, I mean, we could have a lot of different opinions on this.
You know what? I'm all about the psychology of the teams that we've played. We lost to Baltimore in our home stadium last year. They haven't looked as good this year. I'm okay because Sean McDermott is a psychological mastermind. Tennessee coming to Buffalo in the playoffs. Are you kidding me? That Bills fans would go absolutely nuts over having Tennessee in our building after what happened 20, 21 years ago, whatever it is. Give me anybody, anytime, anywhere. It does not matter in the wild card round, and it does not matter in the divisional round if we're the 2 or the 3. Give me anybody, anytime, anywhere.
Say it again, Jeff. I like Jeff. Say it again. We can play anybody right now. I love it.
I'm gonna give you my best Sean McDermott. Well, the process, we'll play anybody, anytime, anywhere. If we're gonna win a Super Bowl, we're gonna have to go through opponents. All of our opponents got to win the games. Anybody, anytime, anywhere.
Well, as long as it's not on a Tuesday in Tennessee, we'll play anybody anywhere. While I don't share Jeff's enthusiasm, I would prefer not to see first the Ravens.
Me too.
I just don't want to see.
I mean, they're hot right now.
I just don't want to see Lamar Jackson running all over the place. And let's be honest, defensively, we're getting better and we make adjustments mid-game, which is great, and we end up shutting the run down. I just don't want to see that dude get loose. I was at that game last year. It was a one-score game. Clearly, that came down to the last throw of the game, which Allen made, and then there was a great defensive play. Second for me is the Titans. The Titans play well in Buffalo historically. Those are the 2 teams I don't really want to see in Buffalo. Everybody else, bring it.
I personally would like to see the 2 quarterbacks that I know are capable of making mistakes when it comes to big games. And that is Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns, and my man Phillip Rivers and the Rivers. I've watched Phillip Rivers year after year in San Diego, choking in the playoffs to God knows which team. It's somebody new every year. So those are the 2 teams I'd like to see them play. Baker Mayfield, I just don't trust, and Casey knows how I feel about that. So
he hates him.
This game is in prime time, right? And we've seen Josh Allen the last month or so, as Joe will tell you, on prime time.
Prime time doesn't matter, though.
You literally just brought up the most meaningless stat.
Yeah, prime time doesn't matter. Yeah, come on now.
Here's what I'll say. If we're playing in prime time, because all playoff games are in prime time, we want to play whichever team has a top 10 passing defense, because Josh Allen loves to shred any team that has a top 10 passing defense. So let's figure out who's got the best passing defense, and let's put Josh Allen up against him, because that's when he's going to play his best.
I might be different on this. I don't want to see the Colts. The Colts defense is pretty solid, and that Jonathan Taylor cat is hot right now. And sorry to say, we've improved the run defense, but we give up a lot of real estate to these running backs. So if they get ahead and start killing the clock and we just can't stop the bleeding, I just don't like it. Now, that's on our defense. Offensively, I don't have an issue, but we keep letting a guy like Jonathan Taylor. I mean, listen, we're going to be facing running backs galore. We faced the Cleveland Browns. We got a 2-headed monster in Hunt and Chubb. You want to go against the Ravens? You got freaking Lamar Jackson, Dobbins. Who's that big boy that just can't get run up? Gus Edwards. That boy is a monster, boy. So it won't really matter who we face. It won't matter who we face. Defensively, we're gonna have to step up and stop somebody in the run. So give me the Dolphins. I mean, I have to rethink about that. Give me the Dolphins. That run game is a little suspect. Tua is gonna be a young cat, fresh, and give me the Dolphins. Anybody else but and then we'll move on to next.
Fitzpatrick will be off COVID by then.
If you look at teams that go into the playoffs, usually who have success in the playoffs, they're teams that are going hot in the last 3-4 games. They go 4-0 or 3-1. I think the Bills are one of those teams right now, and
the Ravens.
And the Ravens are the other one. That's why I wouldn't want to see the Ravens. They're probably the 2 hottest teams going into the AFC.
to Jeff's point about Fitz being ready, if there is a guy that you want to bring into Buffalo to play quarterback for your football team in January, there's only one answer in the NFL right now, and that's Ryan Fitzpatrick. Like, if you're not on the Bills, like he has history in this stadium, in the weather, in the wind. He understands the sight line. He knows what he's getting into. Like, there's something to be said for Fitzpatrick being.
Yeah,
get him.
I'm going to push back on that. Do you remember the Week 17 game with the Jets when they were winning in? And the Bills weren't having a great season? He came into Orchard Park and he threw what?
It's not
3
a
or
blanket.
4 picks.
It's not a blanket.
I'm not saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's.
It's not a
I'm
blanket
not saying that like he's definitely going to be the best or he's definitely going to be the worst. I'm just saying when crunch time comes, we know that he has a propensity to be the guy that can also mess things up. Down the stretch. So he can have his big moments, but there's also a cap to what he can do.
Than Fitz. I'd still rather face Tua than Fitz.
Yes,
completely
the real conversation is this. If the Dolphins come to Buffalo at any point in time and Fitzpatrick plays, Tua's career in Miami's over, right?
I mean, that fast?
Right?
I mean, they're already talking about possibly looking at another quarterback in the draft. I don't know if they should or whatever. That's a different discussion. Yeah. But there's talks about that.
Here's the thing about playing Miami the second week in a row. They have to win in order to get in. If they don't win, they risk not getting in. So they're going to be going all out. You will have a second tape on them going into the playoff game. If you rest your starters after a series and you play straight vanilla, they're going to have a much harder time trying to figure out what you're going to do the following week.
So this was my topic. So I really need to quit texting Nap before we do anything and brainstorming together because he always steals my ideas. But the thing that I want to bring up is like, are we really?
He never said a word to me, by the way.
Hey,
Casey, if you need a new co-host.
I've been begging for you, Jeff. I've been begging for you. I've been texting. I've been crying myself to sleep, texting Pierre, like, please just put me with Jeff, and he never replies back.
You know how to slide into my DMs. Come on.
I'm here for you.
Casey's all talk. He doesn't want to leave.
Anyways, so are we really that terrified of the Ravens? Like honestly, and I get it that I'm not.
Is that who you want to see in the first round, though?
Kind of, yeah. To be honest with you, and.
Bring on the Chiefs.
Lamar can't throw. Like, he cannot throw. And I get it. The run game is
definitely,
amazing. The run game is amazing, right? So if they're running the ball and we can't stop, no one's going to be able to stop the Ravens running. They're not going to be able to stop it. Now, they can slow it down. Cleveland was able to stop them a few possessions, right? But then they couldn't get it right, okay? So that's what I'm looking at. Lamar cannot throw. If you force him into down a distance, he can't do it. He cannot do it. Don't tell me.
I don't know why is there so much talent on this panel right now and allowing Casey to say Lamar Jackson can't throw a football.
Oh my goodness! Like, I'm gonna pull up.
I don't know.
Like,
no. Go ahead.
Lamar Jackson has trouble seeing outside the numbers. That is a fact. He has trouble seeing. But Lamar Jackson can throw a freaking football, and he can hurt you over the middle, and he will hurt you over the middle. So
now,
Mark Andrews.
Go ahead, Pierre. What were you going to say, Pierre?
No. Like, as far as Casey. Lamar Jackson has had his worst games in the playoffs. So in order to give, Casey a bone here, I don't want to see the Ravens either. But if we do, at least we know, Lamar.
They're only better than the Jets passing.
I'll say playoff Lamar.
In the
playoff Lamar is a little suspect.
They're only better than the Jets passing wise.
He misses wide open wide receivers constantly. Like, that's what's so frustrating about watching the Ravens play.
The Ravens' strength is not passing the football.
No, it's not.
It's running the ball, and that running of the ball sets up the Andrews, the Hollywood Browns, the okie dokie. Fill the box up, and then there goes Hollywood Brown on the back end. I'm not trying to see the damn Ravens, man.
All it takes is Dobbins and Lamar Jackson having 125 yards or 150 yards at halftime for the defense to open up, and then he's hitting people across the middle.
And then they're going to kill the clock.
When it comes to defending Lamar Jackson, one of the biggest things is containment, and that's something the Bills have really struggled with. Containment is the entire reason at the end of the game that throw against the Cardinals got off, because the Bills didn't actually contain. That's what would worry me the most about playing against the Ravens. It's not anything else. It's the fact that the Bills would have to actually contain Lamar Jackson and keep him in the pocket. And you struggle to do that. Like, the Bills' best containment defensive end, he's gone. He's not on the team anymore. He's in Miami. So it's not that I'm scared of the Ravens or I'm scared of anybody else, but when it comes to like thinking of who do you want to play the most, you have to think about where the Bills' strengths and weaknesses are, and containment of the quarterback.
Let me ask you a question. When we have to face a high-powered offense like Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady when he was with the Patriots, what was the thing that we would always say? Try to keep the quarterback, Russell Wilson, keep him on the sideline, right? That's the best way. How do you do that? Run the ball, kill the clock. You don't think the Ravens are going to come up with that strategy? We know how potent this damn offense is. Kill that clock, run the rock, and don't let them get a chance to get on the field. Bro, now I trust Allen in the clutch.
I was going to say, wouldn't Josh do the same thing? Wouldn't the Bills have the same strategy for Lamar?
To keep Lamar off the field? We're not scared of Lamar in the air. It's the ground game.
No, I get that, but I think we would be able to slow it down and get him in down and distance and force him to throw the ball. And at that point, he's not going to be able to do anything.
I think we've seen a Josh Allen where even if they're running dime the whole time, Josh Allen's going to throw the football. He knows what he's looking at. He sees and he trusts his guys. I don't think there's going to be an aspect of and I'll be honest with you as well. When you look at that Patriots football game, even with them going dime, they were still stopping the run game for us. Our running backs weren't really killing them or gashing them the way that Clyde Edwards-Helaire was doing against us when we were giving them all the ground game. By the way, for those of you that hate the Buckeyes, the New England Patriots of college football, they just scored again.
Yeah, I know. You should have seen my face. It was awful. I need Clemson -4.5 for the first half, and it's not going to happen. I'm pretty sad.
I'm happy about it. I'm happy about it.
Who's got Ohio State as part of his parlay, Casey? Casey's slowly making me a degenerate.
I don't know. I'm not a bookie for anybody.
Well, I will say, I got guys out here in Eastern Idaho. I did interview Buck's defensive end Tommy Togiai when he was still in high school and getting recruited by Urban Meyer. I know the kid pretty well, so I would love to see that kid play in a natty for Ohio State.
That would be dope. My man Manny, when you're looking at this, and I have to ask you this, when you're looking at this offense, when this topic came up earlier, how worried are you about the absence of Cole Beasley? And this goes for everybody in the bottom panel. How worried are you guys that Cole Beasley is going to be out maybe 1, maybe 2 weeks? First playoff game. Is it something to be concerned about, even with Job Brown coming back? Or Cole Beasley is just that X factor, changes everything on this offense?
I think Josh looks at Cole Beasley as a security blanket. He's basically what we hope Dawson Knox would be that security guy, the tight end kind of. He's great at finding that open space. I am a little concerned because I think John Brown can be that guy, but he doesn't have the skill and the that Cole Beasley brings in that slot game. When we're 3rd and 8, he can find that 8-yard slot right in the pocket, and Allen finds him all the time. So I'm a little worried with Cole Beasley being out, but I believe that McDermott has, he's done remarkable with the injuries that we've had over the season. Losing Matt Milano, Tremaine Edmonds. Right. He's done it over and over again where we've had an injury, we've survived it, and we come back. So it's kind of that give and take with that.
Now, I'm gonna put this on B-Rye.
No, not concerned.
Not at all.
Not at all. Well, we got a little bit. We got Gabriel Davis.
We do.
Gabriel Davis, bro. Name of an angel, hands of an angel. Have you seen that guy drop a ball? No.
Yes.
Oh, all right.
He dropped the touchdown pass in the first Patriots game.
Can we talk about Lee Smith's hands just for a moment? We'll talk about soft hands. Wow.
We talk about his.
That's your T-shirt, Joe. That's your T-shirt. Surprisingly soft hands.
Diggs and Beasley are I've seen the best two on the Bills by far who can out deke a cornerback snap of the fingers. They're so quick on their feet, and that is what we're going to miss with Cole Beasley, having two guys that can do that, especially on 3rd downs where Josh Allen is specifically looking for Diggs and Beasley.
But we got Brown coming back. Brown's going to be coming back, and just him standing on the field is going to want to be covered by somebody athletic that can kind of keep up with him, because that can open up so many more opportunities than Gable Davis, even Dawson Knox.
Talk about it, because like literally as good as this offense has been and as good as Josh Allen has been, they were better when Brown was in there. Think about that for a second. Like, bro.
Yeah, they're better, but they also had Beasley too. So
I was going to say that right there. Josh has always had, Cole Beasley. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, this might be the first game that he won't have him. So, it's one of those things where, we might need him.
Now, here's the thing with McDermott, though, in this injury. I think he's got us all talking it up, because I am a firm believer that McDermott does not misspeak, but he won't come out with the whole truth at all times. So when he says Cole Beasley is week to week, that could be a bit of a misnomer, because, he'll be out this week. That's a week. And then very possible he's coming back the following week. So I don't think as Bills fans, we need to be overthinking the injury to Cole Beasley, because when it's time, it's the playoffs.
I agree, Jeff. To me,
Cole Beasley will play through more in the playoffs than he would in the regular season. So
I agree. To me, the Still signing is more about. Sorry, Dave. Sorry, I talked over you. To me, the Still signing is more about Kumaro getting plucked than it is about Beasley getting hurt. I agree, and I know Judge.
What was that tilt?
I was just like, I'm looking at this good-looking panel here, and I'm like, we have Landers and Joe Miller are a little bit twinning a little bit. You guys kind of like this thing.
They got the backwards hats together.
Joe's gonna change up.
There we go. Okay.
I got the sideline hat for Christmas. I have to rock it, but it TV guy in me knows that the lights that are hanging in my office cover my eyes when I wear that brim, so I got to turn it backwards.
And we have to see those beautiful eyes.
This sideline hat?
I missed it. If you had a joke around, you got that one free, because I didn't have my headphones on. I do have a topic, though, if you guys want to change topics a little bit. I've been trying to slide this nickname in for Josh Allen, and we can debate it all you want, but I have the nickname for Josh Allen, and that is the Outlaw from Fireball. And I'm going to give you the reasons why. The Outlaw from Fireball. All right. First of all, it's the best rhyme that also ties into everything. Now, we've heard, what was it, Allen, the Wild Stallion. That's all right. I'll give the creator credit for that one. I think it was Eric from Cover One, maybe the Cover One team who came up with that one. I'm okay with that one. But the Outlaw from Fireball, here's why. Buffalo Bill. Who was he? He was an outlaw in the Wild West, in the Mountain West of all things.
Jeff is preaching right now. Go ahead, Jeff.
All right. So Buffalo Bill was an outlaw in the Mountain West. Josh Allen, literally a Wyoming cowboy in the Mountain West Conference. Oh, and then if you tell Josh Allen no, like all those Division I schools did, like all the teams drafting Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, oh, he's going to do it anyway. If you tell Josh Allen no, if you play dime and you're the greatest defensive head coach in the history of the NFL and you play dime and nickel against him, he's still going to pick you apart. Go ahead and tell Josh Allen that he cannot win a Super Bowl. He's going to do it anyway. The Outlaw from Fireball.
I think Wild Bill Cody was actually a showman more than an actual outlaw, but that's
no. But there are cowboys named Buffalo Bill, Butte, Montana, just 2 hours away from me. Look it up.
Just in case anybody's wondering, my uncle Jeff Miller is a Buffalo Bills historian. He wrote the book Rockin' the Rock Pile and 100 things Buffalo Bills fans should know before they die and stuff like. I'm pretty sure Wild Bill Cody was a showman.
Are you guys good with the Iceman?
What was that?
No, not feeling that. Iceman, Josh the Iceman.
It just reminds me of Matty Ice. Honestly,
it's been used. It's been used before.
I'm confused. Did someone actually try to make Alan the Wild Stallion thing. Like that was a person did that on the internet. Like
I saw
Stallions.
I think that's a
What, is he
porn
shooting
name. To be
yeah, is he
honest
shooting a
with
porn?
you. Yeah, and
Alan swinging his Wild Stallion.
yeah, I mean, I don't.
all around the AFC East.
You said I look good in shorts.
And I don't like nicknames. I'm not a big Nick. Can we just call him Josh
That's
Allen?
fine.
Can we,
That's
can we
fine
just
too.
move on? But I had a dog growing up. The dog's name was Dog. So like I'm not good at names. So
Talk about
it. Like I'm just the Winter Soldier is a better nickname for Allen.
I like that. The Winter
I'm-
Soldier, I like. I mess with that
I
one.
kind of like that.
Has
I mean,
anyone-
Captain America, red, white, and blue. Where the Bills are red, white, and blue.
Has-
I mean,
Yeah, that
has
one
anyone-
makes sense.
But see,
that's
the
not
Winter
bad.
Soldier was a Russian spy, so like I don't want. That's why I'm looking at it, and it's
problematic.
you know I shouldn't be in this conversation for nicknames because I'm just gonna be like yeah.
Has
That's my
every
opinion.
time. Go ahead,
Has
Steve.
anyone considered Air Raid Allen? Like, has anyone put?
I think
Two jets. It's
Two-
2 jets.
two of my good friends actually suggested that name, and their names escape me, but they did bring that up.
Every time it comes up on Twitter, we got to name the defense. Has anybody thought of
Yeah.
a nickname for the offensive line? I'm like, can we just not?
Thank
leave it
you.
alone.
Thank
The best
you.
5 available.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had a
just
nickname
want-
for Josh Allen the entire season. Captain
Yeah.
Clutch. I'm going to stick with Captain
I-
Clutch.
Captain Clutch.
That's mine right there. Yeah.
I want Josh. I want Josh to eventually be known by just his first name, right? Like these
Ooh,
all.
I
these
like
I like that.
Josh.
Like when you talk
Beyonce,
about
Madonna.
talk about other quarterbacks in the league, you're like Lamar. You know who I'm talking about. Pat. You know who I'm talking about. Aaron. Like I want it to just be Josh, right? Like just when we say Josh, everyone knows you're talking
I can
about Josh.
respect
I,
that.
miss that.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
With that, can we just talk about the tattoo that Mathis is getting on his ass? If one more touchdown is thrown,
I don't know
and it's
anything
going
about
to say
this.
Josh.
We have
What's
the
happening
receipts
with
from that. We have the receipts from
What?
the pre.
I'm
Wait,
lost.
what's this again?
Yeah.
All right. So
Explain yourself, Steve.
You guys know that when Spence was here, me and Spence liked to go back and forth with one another, and we had some pretty heated exchange. And after I made a very valid statement, we did a show.
A very valid statement.
we did a show. We did a show where we said over the next 5 years, which quarterback would you take? Like, what quarterback would you take over the next 5 years? What over the next 5 years, which quarterback would you take over Josh Allen? And I made the statement that Kyler Murray and I thought that Kyler Murray and Joe Burrow were closer to their ceiling. So I would take them over Josh Allen. But if that Josh Allen ever reached a ceiling, then I would be incredibly wrong. That was a statement I made, and it turned into Steve hates Josh Allen. He is the worst human being on the planet. Everyone
Talk about
just
the bet.
burned
Talk about
him
the
alive.
bet. Talk about
remember.
the bet.
So,
Get to the bet.
so then Spence,
Get
as he likes to do, was ribbing me about it and getting under my skin a little bit. So I got the receipts. I pretty much said to him, if Josh Allen throws for 35 touchdowns this season, that I will get JA17 tattooed on one of my ass cheeks.
Oh, wait a minute. Where did this come from?
Wait, can we just? I want to warn everybody on the panel: do not bet with Jay Spence, because that's how I ended up with the Corey Bajorquez jersey as well.
Now, can we?
I mean, he's the
change
best
that
punter in
to-
football. I'm just saying, you know.
Can we change
So in-
that bet to Josh
No.
Allen was here? On
No.
the bet?
No,
Josh
in
Allen's my
the
daddy.
in the
Yes.
first
He's
of all-
hoping we
first
rest
of
the
all,
starters.
I'm not a welcher, but if he does throw another touchdown, if he doesn't throw a touchdown, I'm not getting it because it's not 35, it's 34. I don't care if he's sitting. I'm not gonna bend my rules because he ran for some. He's got to throw 35. So if he throws a touchdown on Sunday, I will get it. And in the smallest possible print on one of my ass cheeks,
Dude.
it will read J.
No, you gotta.
$17.
If you're gonna spend the money on it, you gotta.
You
just
might as
make
well.
it worth
Yeah,
it.
like,
you might as well make it worth
Alan,
it.
right
Don't
now,
spend money on
I'm
it,
right there with
but
you,
not
man.
make it worth it.
Alan,
You know what they're gonna have to do before he gets that tattoo? They're gonna have to manscape his ass. So they can,
I will have to make
They definitely will.
Josh Allen hurtling the ass crack is the only answer. Josh Allen.
Wow.
I mean, that's more of like a tramp stamp at that point,
Champ.
though, right?
Yeah,
Champ
that's
stamp.
what it is.
Champ.
The Allen
Champ
stamp.
stamp.
Champ stamp. Okay, I like that
Winning
spin.
soldier
That's good.
Are
I
we
have-
invited?
I'm gonna uninvite myself from
Wait,
there.
I'm probably gonna live stream it.
Wait, you want to see Steve's ass in person? Are you the one taking?
Casey's been texting me on the side talking about this.
Are you the one taking balls to the face?
You
better not.
Hey, it sounds like a party, and I'm always down.
That's that Tennessee thing right there. That's what it is.
Well, listen, gentlemen, let me ask you this though, because we have a game coming up, and it's going to be one of those strange games. How much does Allen and the first team offense play, and then who stands out? So, what young star or young player or an up and coming player that you guys are looking forward to seeing, what they can produce on the field this coming Sunday?
Gabriel Davis going off.
Gabe Davis. With a little bit of Matt Barkley.
You're going to get, I mean, he's not a young player or a star, but you're going to get Tyler Kroft on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Will you, though? Because he was active last week and didn't play.
If you want to save some of your guys, you want to get some snaps for other guys going into the postseason, get them on the field, get them snaps. Listen, guys, I know a lot of you guys are talking about the second seed, and there's not much difference between the second and third seed in the playoffs, especially if you think Pittsburgh can get taken care of in the first round. There's not a lot to play for in this game. And the Bills go as Josh Allen goes. Yeah, do not risk the Super Bowl for 35 touchdowns and a tattoo on Judge's ass. All right. Do not risk your chance at the Super Bowl for team records for the second seed to avoid a little bit of rust. Those are minimal rewards at major risk of injury to Josh Allen.
But the rust can actually be a thing because
no, it's minimal.
Like that was my topic. My topic was, do we play? Well. No, true.
We had a bye week. True. They took a whole week off and then came out and stomped the Chargers.
I mean, it's I don't like that idea either. I want to see the starters play for at least a couple drives. I always go back, and we talked about this Sunday, Judge and Tilt. The Colts, early like 2000s, mid 2000s, they were great teams. They were always good offenses. And then they came into the playoffs after sitting their starters, and they just didn't look the same. And when you have a team that's hot, I just want to get a couple of reps. I don't want them to play a lot. I want them to get enough reps to keep that fire going.
Okay. Listen, I don't mind going through the pregame routine.
Just one touchdown.
Look.
Listen,
we got one of those things to where we have to look at it. We're all fans, right? We're all fans. Now, I understand as an organization, what you guys are saying makes complete sense. As a fan, fuck that. I want Josh Allen to play. I want him to get the MVP. I want Diggs to, you know what I mean? So it's just like it's mixed reactions.
It might be locked up. I mean, and hold on too, because Aaron Rodgers, I don't know how much he's going to play. I have a Packers friend that's saying, hey, he's going to play every minute of that game because they need that. They want to get that dub. And the Bears are fighting to win that game too to get in.
They're still playing for seeding too, aren't they?
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, so they're definitely playing.
So you might as well just give up that number one seed. They're going for the number one seed. So give that MVP.
And now here's another thing too, quick, before you go, Joe, real quick, is that the Dolphins are going to be playing the whole way through, right?
Yep.
The Dolphins are playing in Buffalo.
Playoff live.
In the conditions where the offense for, Buffalo, they may not, a lot of them haven't even played in the playoffs in Buffalo. Or I'm sorry, all of them haven't played in Buffalo in the playoffs, where the Dolphins will have that experience week 17 to kind of like, understand the conditions and everything like that. So I think it might be a disadvantage if we don't play. Whereas if we end up playing the Dolphins in the playoffs, they would already have the experience, playing the Buffalo.
It's going to come down to talent versus talent at the end of the day. Talent versus talent. We have more talent than they do.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Judge.
Judge is back at the perfect time. I need the starters to play long enough for Allen to get his one touchdown, because if he does, I got $500 that Judge gets a 2-inch or 3-inch Allen hurdling the ass crack tattoo. And I want you guys to
I'll put money on that.
Hey, I got 500.
I'll throw in on that.
This tattoo a little larger.
I'll throw in on that.
I got it.
Hey, Judge, how much money you want, man?
On it.
It's a payday, Judge.
Yo, look at Judge face. He's so nervous.
Judge looks concerned.
The bet was already made. It is it is in writing.
I got 500.
I will get
500.
JA17.
Was
That
here.
is what I am getting. No, just JA17. So small that you
You're
can't
telling
even-
me that
No,
if the,
you
if
gotta
the
make
nine
it
of
worth
us,
the money, dude.
if the 9 of us come up with $2,000, you're not getting Allen hurdling your ass crack.
Steven, just do it. Be cool,
okay.
man.
Well, no,
Yeah,
first
yeah,
of all,
be cool.
That would be amazing.
I will not
Make
be
sure you
peer
tuck
pressured.
in your
I will-
shirts whenever you're walking around.
Wow, come on, don't do that.
Listen, I have a fiance that is actually agreed to marry me, and our wedding is in March. I can't risk that with Josh Allen hurdling.
Go fund me. Wow. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yes.
But imagine how much
If
money
the
you
Bills
could
win
make.
the Super Bowl,
My fiance just opened the door and is just yelling at me.
Hey,
Absolutely not.
imagine how much money that would go towards the wedding, though. Be real.
Tell your wife we might be able to buy you a home with cash for a Josh Allen hurdling.
We can pay for your honeymoon, man. We can pay for your honeymoon.
They give me like a couple.
Then knowing that,
That's gonna
how Buffalo fans roll too, you never know. I mean,
Yeah.
we're able to raise $1 million for, hey, you never know.
You might be
It's a good
retiring.
call.
Never know.
yes.
When there's a good
Go
cause,
fund
She
me.
just
Bills
agreed to
fans show up.
$2,000
This
for
is
the
a good
Josh
cause.
Allen over the ass crack.
She
Was
agreed to it.
She agreed, but I don't agree. I'm not.
I don't agree.
I'm gonna pull money down too. Come on.
You'll
I'm
never
not getting a
see it,
champ
Judge.
That's not something.
Judge, you'll never see it. You never have to
I'll
look
know
at it.
it's there, though. I will know it's there.
Oh,
You'll never see it.
Ohio State just scored again.
Good
Well,
bet,
listen,
Casey. Good bet.
I don't know how anybody's watching anything but this show tonight. Like this
I'll
is
tell you.
this is must see TV right here.
Absolutely.
Listen, guys. To your guys' point, Pierre, getting experience in the playoffs in December, or at least in Buffalo in December. What I was thinking about was our rookie kicker. Anytime the Bills pass the 45-yard line, don't even try for the end zone. I want to see Tyler Bass line up as many 50-plus kicks in December in this, or it's now January, in this game. Get him as much feel for the Buffalo Stadium cold weather at least twice. Get him 2 kicks, 2 long-distance kicks. And if it means second half you have to give up on a drive and you kick it on 3rd down, get him 55-plus in January in this stadium. I want to see that experience for him.
You know what I'm not looking forward to is what if let's play a game. What if
Sure.
the Bills lose this game? It doesn't mean anything to us, right? Because we already have our standings in the playoffs and stuff like that. It doesn't mean anything. But what it does mean is those cheerleaders on Twitter will come out and be like, oh, whoa, well, we beat Josh Allen in Miami if he plays for like a series. That's what I'm not looking forward to. I'm not looking forward to the Dolphins fans coming out of nowhere and saying, hey, we beat the Bills this season. So that's all I got to say.
Are you? I'd be interested in seeing Jake Fromm get on the field.
I don't
What are your thoughts on that? I
No,
want to
he's-
see what he can do.
He has a noodle arm. He has a
Fourth
noodle
quarter,
arm.
put him in.
Well, the thing is they've kept him away from the team all year. So
Yeah.
they
They have.
no chemistry with like anyone. That would be
Yeah.
my biggest concern. That's why I don't think the Bills would consider it.
No.
It's got to happen though. I mean, you're in one of two camps right now. You're either in the camp of Josh Allen is going to play a snap count. He's going to have a pitch count, right? And the starter's going to play for so long, or they're going to rest him and the backup's going to play. If the backups only play, you've got to know what you've gotten Jake Fromm. You've got to know.
I'm with you, man.
He's got to play in this football game.
Yeah, I need to see him.
We talked about it. I talked about it today with Bruce Nolan. I talked about it today with Bruce Nolan on Twitter. No longer are we a team in need of a running quarterback who's a backup quarterback for Josh Allen. Josh Allen is a pocket passer, period.
Yep.
So if Jake Fromm is that guy, you've got to know before this draft happens.
And here's another thing.
I think it's different when you're talking about backup quarterbacks. Backup quarterbacks aren't the guy who has to run the exact same system you run. Backup quarterbacks are just guys who have to come in and be able to make something happen. We already saw Jake Fromm play with a roster that's stacked with talent, and he didn't do very much with it statistically at Georgia.
You're right.
So I'm not too interested in seeing him play. There's better options in the offseason to bring in a backup quarterback than what Jake Fromm can do.
The problem is Matt Barkley is not the guy. As much as you need a guy that's going to win you 3 football games, or if 2 of 3 football games if he's in. Matt Barkley's not that guy.
Well, here's an interesting question. Matt Barkley's contract is up, And also, knock on every piece of wood in this room, if Josh Allen does get injured in the playoffs and we still want to push for that Super Bowl, would it behoove you to start Matt Barkley on Sunday and let Matt Barkley go? Like, say, all right, Matt Barkley, you're in. We're not going to give you Stephon Diggs. We're not going to give you Cole Beasley, but we'll give you your offensive line, and we'll give you John Brown, Gabe Davis, Isaiah McKenzie. Matt Barkley, here is your tryout to get a contract next year. Here is your one game to get ready and prepared if you have to play in the playoffs.
He's not the guy.
I agree. I agree with you.
I like him.
A little bit of devil's advocate.
He's an awesome dude. He's a great team guy. He's a culture dude. He's a process guy. When he's on the field, it's going to be Fitz. It could be.
Now, Pierre,
I say that half jokingly, but it could be true.
Pierre just coming back right now. We were talking about having Fromm get in the game. I feel that we should at least get a glimpse of what Fromm can do with a bit of a raw offense in the last game of the year. So everybody's watching. What do you say? What do you think?
I mean, we might as well, right? I mean, if we're going to sit the starters, which I don't think we should, but if we do, I mean, we kind of already know who Matt Barkley is, right?
I think. Go ahead. Do you have more to say, Pierre?
No. Go ahead.
To pile on that, like the number. One of my topics was I had several topics just in case my topics got taken.
Yeah.
One of my topics literally was the number one hole on this football team is backup quarterback. And you've got to know. You've got to know what Jake Fromm is going to do under center before next preseason.
You're damn right.
And by the way, a backup quarterback that's going to win you 2 of 3 games, 4 or 5 games is going to cost you $15 million a year.
Most teams' hole is backup quarterback, unless you're
the
Dallas Cowboys or
John Wolford is starting a football game on Sunday.
Like look at who came in for Matthew Stafford on that Christmas game. I mean, it was like teams generally don't have the luxury of paying a backup quarterback $5 million a year unless it's like Dallas and they're in a situation.
It's more than 5. It's more than 5.
I'm just saying more, or more, right? So it's like backup quarterback is going to be a hole for most teams who are going for Super Bowl runs because their money is being spent elsewhere. So, I mean, the fact of the matter is like, if you're talking about winning 2 or 3 games in the middle of the season just to bridge the gap to get you to the playoffs, that's one thing. But if you're talking about an injury that happens in the playoffs or right before, it's not going to matter. The Bills aren't going anywhere without Josh Allen in the playoffs, and that I firmly believe that. So, sure, if you want a backup that can win you a game or 2, if Josh Allen gets hurt during the regular season, fine. But to me, that's not worth the money you have to pay.
But where do you mitigate the risk? I mean, it's all about risk mitigation. So Josh Allen gets hurt week 4, right? But he's only going to be out for 8 weeks, which puts him at week 12. Versus Josh Allen getting hurt at week 14, and he's going to be hurt through all the playoffs. Like, if he's hurt at week 4 and you got a backup quarterback that can't win you half of those games, you're done. There's no playoffs. So even when Josh comes back, Jacoby Brissett's out there. Like, there's a lot of quality dudes that are out there.
What about Nick Mullins?
Nick Mullins, they're going to cost you 10 to 12, $13 million a year.
With a reduced salary cap probably happening next year, I just don't see us putting big money into the backup quarterback position.
You might be right. You might be right.
Fitzpatrick.
You're right.
Fitzpatrick's going to command $5 million easily.
Yeah, he definitely.
I think
plus he'll get a chance to start somewhere.
I think
I said that before the season, Judge. I said that before the season.
Steve's stupid. I do have to ask you guys. We're on the quarterback topic. Looking at New England right now, New England is a mess at quarterback. Cam Newton, I don't know what's happened to Cam Newton. Whether he's hurt, whether it's the chemistry between him and the receivers, him and Josh McDaniels, just nothing there. Who knows? There are rumors that next year potentially they could be going after a few key players. Matt Stafford, I've heard. Cam Newton's gone?
Yeah.
Okay, so Matt Stafford, I've heard, tied to the Patriots. Is the run for quarterbacks for Patriots over with? Are they going to bring a veteran guy that's had success in the league but just in the wrong scenario to come to New England, or is New England going to start all over? Are they going to rebrand everything and just build through the draft again? What do you guys think?
I think they have to start over. I don't think bringing in a Matt Stafford for a year or 2 is the answer for them long term, unless Belichick's only planning on being there for another year or 2. I mean, the handshake agreement is that McDaniels is going to probably take over for Belichick once he's gone. Yeah. So the fact of the matter is McDaniels doesn't really have a track record of developing a quarterback. He tried to with Tebow in Denver. It didn't work. He didn't have to develop Brady. He was already developed by the time he was there. So for me, if I'm the Patriots and if I'm McDaniels and I'm Belichick and I think I can have a run with the team I have currently constructed, which it clearly looks like they can't, then that would make sense to bring in a veteran. But the team they currently have constructed, I don't see even bringing in a Matthew Stafford how that does that for them. So if I'm the Patriots, I'm likely looking at a total start over.
That's actually a good point that you made, Dave, because like it's definitely one of those things where if it's Bill Belichick, then I don't see him wanting to rebuild.
Nah,
but
too old for that.
Exactly.
Depends on who's in charge, like really in charge.
Yeah, but if it's McDaniels, then I can definitely see it. So if the thing is, you know what, hey, I'm only going to be here for maybe 2 more years, let's just say, then I can see them, wanting to rebuild.
Now, here's something else. Bill Belichick is looking at Tom Brady right now like, I can't let Tom Brady have the last laugh. So he's got to try to come back and fight to get back into, I guess, prominence, into relevancy. And that's a pride thing from Bill Belichick. So could we see him go after Garoppolo and say, that's the guy I originally wanted.
Darling.
I was trying to get rid of Tom Brady or whatever the case was, but Kraft was like, nah, that's my baby. That's my boy. That's my baby boy. Can't do anything about it. Now that Garoppolo is falling out of favor with the Niners, potentially, I could see BB going over to the Niners and talking to Kyle Shanahan and saying, let's make something happen, or they release him or do whatever. Garoppolo coming back to New England. That could be a possibility as well.
The key word you used there was pride, because Bill Belichick wanted Brady out 3 years ago and wanted to start Jimmy Garoppolo, and Robert Kraft said, no, guess what? You're going to trade him for nothing. You're just going to go trade him to San Francisco for a second-round pick because we're not going to make Tom unhappy. You're stuck with Tom.
Yep.
And so now he's stuck with Cam Newton and Jarrett Stidham this year when he should have had Jimmy Garoppolo. So we talk about pride. Nothing Bill Belichick wants to do more than to go get his protege back, the quarterback that he drafted and developed to replace Tom Brady, bring him back to New England and try to have success with him. They might try to double down on that by drafting a guy in the second round like Mac Jones or Kyle Trask. But I think Jimmy G is going to be target number 1 for the New England Patriots this offseason.
Yeah, but was Kraft wrong, though?
Kraft was
That's a good question.
100%.
I mean, they won a chip.
Yeah, how can he be wrong when you have the success they had in that time?
Right.
He
as soon as they traded Jimmy, they won a chip that same season.
They traded in short-term success.
True.
And by doing it, they crippled their long-term future.
I can give you that. Yeah.
Now,
I can give you that.
But for a team that already had won 5 Super Bowls, who cares, right? If you're them, like we'll go for one more chip. We already have 5. We're not going for that first one. So who cares if it crippled their long-term success when this is our run now. We're in the midst of it. This era is going to end. Let's try to it's like the Last Dance Bulls, right? Like we're going for the one more, and whatever happens after this, who cares? Because we went all in for it this last year, and who cares about the long term? I mean, that's how I.
They also had the most opt-outs during COVID too. So they
had
this year as Hightower and Patrick Chung, who are huge for them.
Is that a coincidence, or was that because Tom Brady left?
It could be. It could be just coincidence. I think more than anything. But I think another thing that they do need is not just a quarterback. They need some receivers.
Their track record of drafting receivers is bad. Even
track record of drafting anybody's bad.
That's probably the same thing. Their track record in general is bad.
In the draft.
they need more than a quarterback on that offense. So it's going to be interesting for Bill Belichick.
All right, now we're gonna stick with the AFC East, and head over to the Jets. I have to ask about this. They missed out on the number 1 draft pick. They missed out on that. Now,
that sucks.
I'm not a Sam Darnold guy. I don't believe in Sam Darnold. I think he's just a good quarterback, but nothing special. Like a lot of people made him seem like he was. Now, can they build around Sam Darnold and really do something with that second pick, or do you just move on from Sam Darnold and try to do something with that second round pick? What do you guys think?
I think you got to keep
Joe.
him.
Actually, Joe's nodding his head. Joe, what are your thoughts?
I don't mean to jump in front of anybody. Sam Darnold is not necessarily any different than the quarterback that they thought he was. He's an accurate, consistent passer that's been in a bad system with a bad head coach. In my opinion, you literally dump the coaching staff
without targets.
Right, without targets, without weapons, or running back. I mean, they had Bell, but Bell was, the best ability is availability, and Bell wasn't always available. You build around him.
Coach also didn't want him there.
Exactly.
If I'm Sam Darnold, I want to go to Patriots. I want out of that organization. I want nothing to do with it. I want to play for Bill Belichick if he's going to stick around, which I don't think he will. But if you're Bill Belichick and he wants to play for you,
but the Jets
the Patriots would have to trade for him, or the Jets aren't straight up cutting him. The Jets will not straight up cut him because he's an asset.
Comes on boards and just gets rid of him. I want my quarterback.
I think the difficult thing is that if you're not getting Trevor Lawrence in this draft, there's not a quarterback that you can really trust. Big Ohio State fan here, but I wouldn't want to draft Justin Fields.
They straight up cut Adams. Just in case anybody forgets, straight up cut Adams.
Yeah, Joe Douglas did not draft Sam Darnold. You know, he's not tied to him like other general managers would be if they drafted him in the first round. If that makes sense, he should try to trade him to maybe like Minnesota, one of those teams like that. Try to get those picks back, and then reload during the draft and start fresh.
I think they'd be giving up on Darnold too fast. He's had nothing around him. He's had no receivers. He has the worst coach in the NFL by far. Like, give him a break, guys.
Sure. And I'm not saying Sam Darnold is great, but sometimes the change of scenery is good for the player himself. Yeah. Right. So maybe it's best for both parties.
Look,
they just move on at this point.
Gase came in and his stats dropped.
Yeah, well, Gase is trash. I mean, we all know that. That has everything.
You got to get a new coach. You got to get a new coach. He's going to get a new system, a new offensive coordinator.
Apparently, he's got to win this game. I don't even think he's got to win this game. I think he's out.
I think he's out. Yeah,
he should be out.
Now, I have a question for you guys because
you can ask me.
Have we learned nothing from being so wrong about Josh Allen?
Yeah,
Sam Darnold might be an average NFL quarterback, but his ceiling is top 10 to 15. His ceiling is not top 5 in the NFL. And there are 4 quarterbacks in this draft: Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, and Trey Lance, who all have the athletic makeup and the arms to be top 5 quarterbacks in the National Football League if they develop it correctly. So if the New York Jets go out and they sign Eric Bieniemy to be their head coach, or Brian Dable to be their head coach, if they go out and they make it a point and they hire the right guy who's an offensive mastermind who can groom a quarterback, you go and you take one of those 4 balls. Well, Trevor Lawrence is not a ball of clay. Trevor Lawrence is just a stud. But the other 3, you take that ball of clay and you trust that if you build a nice defense and you build a nice offensive line and get some skill position players with all that capital you have, that guy will get hot in 2-3 years and you will have yourself 15 years of sustained success.
Why?
So whether the Jets owner wants to do that or not, you got to move on from Sam Darnold. He's not going to be a top 5 quarterback.
But how do you know that? 2 years ago, everybody was talking about Allen. Everybody was talking about Allen being not what he is today.
Facts.
We all believed it,
and everyone was talking about Darnold being that guy.
Yeah,
and they were wrong about Darnold. They're wrong about Allen.
Yeah, but
so,
I see what Steven's trying to say. Right? They're hyping him up like he's going to be that guy, and he's just not. And I'm looking at it. I see it. Nothing great. They're hyping Allen like he was going to be some bum.
But I don't know the Gase is playing. I don't know the Gase is playing to his strengths. Yeah. First of all, before I comment, there's 306 people up in this thing. We've been on this thing for 2 hours and 10 minutes. Y'all jump on that like button, smash that like button, and let's make some new members tonight for Fanatics. Let's do that. Let's do that.
You know what?
Let's get some action.
Speaking of new members, I gotta say this, because if we can get to, I think we've got like 3 new members tonight. If we can get us to 10 new members, we got some new designs up in the BF fan shop. We've got the division champs. We redesigned one. We put it out there. We've got the hey. So we gotta do, that's what I was waiting for, Joe. So go ahead and head over to the BF fan shop. It's the bffanshop.com, and go ahead and get your merch out there, because we got some fire stuff out there. But go ahead, Joe, because you're about to jump on and get some likes in here. So I just think when we talk about change of scenery, there's just an aspect to when you completely house an entire coaching staff and it's complete turnover. That is a change of scenery. The reality is Gase didn't want Darnold as much as he didn't want, in my opinion, Bell. And I don't know that he was necessarily game planning for, Darnold's strengths and what Darnold brings to the game. I think that there's just an aspect of what you saw Dable do and what you saw Allen do. There was a communication, there was a relationship there, and there was very much this is what I want.
Allen was like, well, I'm not sure I can do that. He'd have to learn. Like, they'd try stuff, he'd fail, he'd learn, like, and they'd go back and forth. Darnold never had that opportunity. And I think that, like, literally an entire new sweeping coaching staff, and they're all gone. Like, Gase is gone, Williams is already gone, all of them are gone. I think you bring somebody in that wants to ask Darnold, what do you like? What are you good at? Let's start where you're good, right? The things that you're competent at. I don't know that he has to go someplace else.
I think the reason that they need to keep him, I think the reason they need to keep him isn't because of what they could get or anything. I think the reason they need to keep him is because of what they could get if they don't draft a quarterback in the first round. One of their weaknesses is their offensive line still. And they just drafted their left tackle. They could get another stud offensive lineman.
Right.
That if you bring in a new coaching staff, like Joe's saying, and you bring in just a whole new regime, you get a new scenery around him, and then you also give him the tools to succeed, we could end up seeing a different quarterback. I'm not saying that he's definitely going to be the guy or anything long-term. I'm just saying I think that probably the best option for them with what's available is to keep him for one more year and see what he can do with different players around him, different coaches around him, and possibly a better offensive line.
Hey, Joe, I wanted to ask you a question real quick, Joe. Just I wanted to bring it off topic real quick. I was listening to a podcast with my man, Clay Troya, where he had on a guest.
My guy.
Bill's Counterpoint. Shout out to Clay for that.
Oh, Buffalo football.
He had a guest. Yeah. Of course. He had a guest the other day, by the name of Kevin, the Dolphin fan.
I love
and he gave you a shout out. He gave you a shout out, Joe.
Well, he didn't shout me out. He called me out.
I know. But, he was mentioning the fact that Tua, that Joe Miller was a big fan of Tua on Twitter. I need you to explain what Kevin meant about that.
So the problem that I have with the whole situation, and Clay almost got it right. So Clay's comment to Kevin saying that I am like the ringleader behind the Tua hate, it's not true. I'm not the ringleader behind Tua hate. There's just an aspect of like, I'm gonna call people out on their stuff. I'm gonna call people out on the Tua's coming. Josh Allen is like, Josh Allen's playing MVP level football. Tua's coming. That's the stuff I want to call out. And Clay said that Bills Mafia had a problem, and we're all Bills Mafia up in here, and that Bills Mafia had a problem with the fact that Allen did not get the accolades that Tua got like early. Like we're just going to automatically assume that Tua is going to be good. Allen never got that. And that isn't even it. Josh Allen's playing MVP level football, and then NFL media pundits are talking about Tua coming in before he's even started going, he's going to be better, the best quarterback in the AFC East. That's the problem that I have with the whole entire situation. It's like, can we recognize the dude and put some respect on the name of the dude that's like literally playing lights out football right now before we crown the rookie? Please, maybe. And that's where it all came from. So
is that more because it's the Buffalo Bills?
For sure. There's a narrative that's going to follow Josh Allen forever. There's a tweet going around right now, which is absolutely true. If Josh Allen does not win the MVP this year, he's going to be fueled. He's going to be fueled next year to win it. And the tweet going around is if Josh Allen next year could throw for 7,000 yards and 60 touchdowns and he won't win the MVP. And it's true. People are still going to be like, he's inaccurate and you can't trust him. And it's like, there's just that narrative is going to carry with him until he wins multiple Super Bowls. Unfortunately, it just is what it is.
So I got a comment.
What I meant was that if he was playing for any other AFC East team and he was doing this, he would get all the accolades through Twitter. I think that it's the narrative behind the Bills as an organization and as a team as well.
Yeah, but Manny,
it's pre-draft narrative.
But it doesn't all that pre-draft crap, where markets, whatever.
Yeah.
Even Rodgers. So take this current situation. There is not a better story in the NFL than Josh Allen. Young kid, high schooler. Like when he goes to like camp with Derek Carr, his hero, he's a 49ers fan, is put on the field with kids that can't play football, doesn't get anything, goes to JUCO, has one offer or two offers in it, like at a D1 school, Wyoming, goes to Wyoming, is completely hammered and panned, and is the disgrace of the NFL, ends up in Buffalo, Siberia, turns the whole thing around. There isn't a better story in football than Josh Allen.
Facts.
And what are we talking about for MVP? Hang on. What are we talking about for MVP? We want to talk about Aaron Rodgers, who's dating Danica Patrick, and because of her, he won't talk to his parents. Like, that's what we're talking
I believe
about.
that was a little.
Can we give? I gotta get. Let it breathe. Let it breathe. Let it breathe. Let it breathe for a little bit, because I don't know if you guys are hearing the fire that Joe's spitting right now.
That was awesome. It was all facts. It was all facts.
Joe's in his bag tonight. I gotta give it to him.
Fire.
The minute he switched his hat on,
It's the
he's
greatest.
ready to go.
It's the greatest story in the NFL right now. It's the greatest story in the NFL right now.
But just to piggyback off of that, because I know Rico wanted to read that super chat real quick. I'll let you go ahead and do that. But I kind of wanted to, bring up my question real quick. All right, now we're talking about Josh Allen. But go ahead now, Rico.
Yeah, let me get that. So bad coaching will kill a rookie QB and his confidence, and that's the facts. You see it often. I mean, look at Josh Rosen right now. Good Lord, I don't know what has happened. He's a shell of whatever the hell he was supposed to be. If Allen was with the Jets team, he would have never progressed to like he's done in Buffalo. That's a fact. I don't know if we can call it a fact, but let's just say Allen was placed exactly where he was supposed to be.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, if you reverse the roles, is Sam Darnold having as good of a season under Brian Dable as Josh Allen is? I mean, maybe not to an MVP level, but I think given the organizations, Sam Darnold could succeed with the Buffalo Bills from 2018 through 2019 into 2020. If you reverse the roles, Josh Allen is sitting on the sideline as a pre-draft narrative bust.
That's right.
Because
See, look,
it's the Jets.
As far as Josh Allen, is Josh Allen an MVP quarterback? I'm sorry. Is Josh Allen a franchise quarterback?
Yes.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So there is no question that Josh Allen is a franchise quarterback?
But he developed into it in the right organization.
Yeah.
Timing is everything.
Yeah, exactly. But my main question is, what are we waiting for when it comes down to extending Josh Allen? Right?
Oh, that's another topic now.
We have many people saying, we should probably wait. We should probably wait, because we've seen what happened to Carson Wentz and all this stuff. If Josh Allen, he actually has shown that he's able to progress every year, which means that he's able to know what the defense is bringing, and he's able to adjust to it. Where a lot of guys like Baker Mayfield, he goes from rookie season, and then
gets worse.
He digressed after that.
Yeah.
Look,
so
Terry,
when do we pay Josh Allen? Because after week 17, he's actually eligible to get extended. I say you sign his ass right after the damn season.
Now.
After week 17, right before the play. Yep.
He's not going to sign.
That's
He's not going
me.
to sign before the playoffs. And the reason why he's not going to sign before the plaoffs is what if he wins the Super Bowl?
Of course, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Okay. Let me throw wrinkle in there. So Josh Allen goes into the playoffs and actually puts out a dud in the first round.
Oh,
He reverts back to rookie Josh doing bozo things. Highly doubt it happens. Now you're questioning everything. Was this whole season a fluke?
No, you
now that he
buy
gets
low,
into the playoffs,
high.
he can't do nothing.
You buy low, sell high.
Buy low, sell high.
Terry and Kim Bakula are billionaires because Terry knows how to buy at the right time. If Josh Allen goes out and just hypothetically has a dud in the wild card round, Bills lose, his price is lower, but they still have a future with him.
They still believe in him. Okay.
They still believe in him, and that's a benefit to their pocketbook. You buy low, sell high, and that's exactly what Brandon Beane did with the 7th overall pick and Josh Allen. You think first round 7th overall pick is quite high, but you buy low and you sell high.
I mean, we're not moving away from Josh Allen.
No.
Right? Even if he has a dud, Rico, we're not moving away. So what are we waiting for? That's my thing.
I mean, listen, we're about to find out. Now, I'm going to give you the last topic of the night, and it's about Coach McDermott. Now, right now, I think there were 4 candidates for Coach of the Year. At one point, Mike Tomlin was one front runner, I would say. Then you had Stefanski. I think his name is Stefanski, from the Browns. Yeah, Brian Dable. And I'm missing one more coach that was on fire. Who am I missing?
Flores? Can you get the Flores?
Flores being another, and Green Bay's coach, LaFleur. Those 5. So I'm gonna put it on the panel. Is McDermott worthy. Now that the Browns kind of took that L to the Jets, that matters. The Steelers took three straight losses, and Flores was on fire until he kind of, he's flip-flopping his quarterbacks all over the place, and it's just a lot of inconsistency. The most consistent coach right now is McDermott. Is he a front runner to win this damn MVP?
Yes.
I hope so, because I got money on him.
Yes.
Now, what's stopping him? Now, here's the thing. What is the roadblock? What would not get him that? What would not give him that accolade? What would not let him hoist
exposure?
The fact that he's been around this team for multiple years already.
Nap, give it to me. Nap, what are your thoughts?
I think that if he doesn't win it, it's because he's been with the Bills already. He's had his year where 2017, the year that we made the playoffs, that was his year to be coach of the year if it was going to happen, because he took an absolutely trash roster to the playoffs. This team has talent all over the place. So it's just expected for the Bills to succeed. And I think a lot of times coach of the year doesn't always go to the team that is the best team or has the best record. Correct. It goes to the team that kind of comes out of nowhere sometimes. And that's not the Bills this year. I would love for him to win it. I just don't think he needs to for validation. And I don't think that he's going to for that simple fact. I would love for it to happen, but I just don't see it happening because he's already been around the team and already shown that he can have success with this team.
Understanding when the vote, sorry, Jeff, understanding when the vote happens is important. The vote happens after week 17 before the playoffs. If Stefanski wins this game against the Steelers and breaks the drought with an all-star team even, which I don't like that, he's a front runner. Flores, if they beat the Bills and they make the playoffs, he's in the conversation. In my opinion, if McDermott wins this football game this weekend and Stefanski loses, it's McDermott is the front runner.
Jeff, jump in, then Steve right after.
All right. So I saw on Twitter a graphic that was there's a history of how the coaches win. It's almost a formula. This guy was pointing out that the history goes to the head coach of the team that wins the most games above the Vegas line. And he did it. It was a history. It was like 10, 15 years in a row. Mm-hmm. The team that won the most games above the Vegas line won coach of the year. So I think what Knapp was saying was it's these coaches who kind of come out of nowhere and do really well or have the history of winning it. And I wish I could credit the guy who had the research done, but it was like a week ago.
And it's not always like the person who deserves an award isn't always the person who wins it. That's one of the problems with the awards. Like MVP, coach of the year, like the coach of the year isn't always the guy who gets the award. It's the guy who gets the most recognition because people think like, wow, that was a crazy, great coaching job you did because we didn't expect it.
I don't know how that guy is. Sorry, I don't know how that guy is Stefanski with OBJ, right? And then and all the talent that he had, Chubb and freaking and Kareem Hunt and I just don't Baker. I just don't know how it's that guy. Like, oh, you exceeded our expectations with a Pro Bowl roster. Like, congratulations, coach of the year. You got them to get along. Like, I don't know.
Get in there, Steve.
Sean McDermott's not going to win this award. It's going to be utter bullshit. Why? Because where was this talk for Sean McDermott in 2017? Where was it? Where was this talk for Sean McDermott?
Get him, boy.
Get angry.
What's Kevin Stefanski and Brian Flores are doing with the Miami Dolphins and the Cleveland Browns this year are nothing different than what Sean McDermott did with the Buffalo Bills in 2017. You could make the argument that what Sean McDermott did in 2017 was better because he literally had an XFL roster that he did it with in 2017. Yeah. He had an XFL roster, and these two guys have at least the cornerstone pieces in place to do what they're doing. To me, it's like Ricky Bobby says, if you're not first, you are dead ass last. Amen. And Sean McDermott is number one in the AFC East. Andy Reid is number one in the AFC. Green Bay, Matt LaFleur is number one in the NFC, and Sean Payton is number one in the NFC South. If it's not one of those four guys, this award is an utter joke. An utter joke.
The guy who got to ring that bell on that one. Not always the guy who wins it. I agree with everything that you just said. I'm just saying I don't think he's going to win it.
I got to give him that bell. I got to give him that bell.
I personally think he might win it because as Bills Mafia fans, we're fans, and we look at it, we expect them to do well. But in the media, I've noticed over the years, especially in the start, not everybody believed how good the Bills were going to be. And I think McDermott has won a lot of media over with this year that the Bills are having and what they've accomplished. So I think he has a really good shot this year.
Brian, I need your thoughts on this, man. You've been a little quiet for me. I need you to give me something here.
Yeah.
Coach of the year, is he well deserved? It should be a no-brainer. Who's he going head to head with?
I'm with Steve, bro. No brainer. This is absolute no brainer. Look what these other teams are doing. They're trying to match what Sean McDermott has been doing for the Buffalo Bills. That's what Flores is doing. That's why Flores is even in this conversation, because they're what we did in 2017. That's where they are right now. That's Dolphins, and it all starts with the coach Sean McDermott. He just unbelievable what he's doing for this fan base. It's unbelievable.
Now, I'm gonna let my man Steve rebuttal, because I know he's stewing back there. So you get to get him. Everybody knows you're stewing. Get him, go ahead.
Oh, you want me to talk?
Yeah, because right now I'm seeing Truth to Heart say also, Steve, based on your take, then Bill Belichick would win it every year.
And that's a valid point, but I didn't say Sean McDermott needs to win the award 100%. And because there's more than one way to calculate number one. It doesn't need to be just the best record in the NFL. It could be the best record in, like, if you're a wild card team, you're not a coach of the year. I'm sorry, you're not. You got to win your division, or you got to be one of the top 2 seeds in each of the conferences. One of those 2 things. If you can't do that, to me, you're not a coach of the year. If your team is a wild card team, if it's week 17 and your team is still doesn't have that little clinch next to their name in week 17, you're not coach of the year. There are multiple teams that have already clinched and punched their ticket in the postseason. Sean McDermott, this team hasn't lost a real game in 2.5 months, because I'm not counting that Arizona game.
Facts.
Recency bias. He's played in what? We played the most primetime games of any team over the past 2 months, and he's won all of them, and he's won all of them in pretty curb stomping fashion. So to me, if Sean McDermott doesn't win this award, it's an utter slap in the face to the city of Buffalo. It's an utter slap in the face to Sean McDermott. It's an utter slap in the face to this market. Because if Brian Flores wins Coach of the Year, guess what? He didn't deserve it. If Kevin Stefanski wins Coach of the Year, guess what? He didn't deserve it. Why? Because it's week 17. They still haven't punched their ticket.
Who's the only coach Bill Belichick has really shaken his hand after the game this year? We've seen him.
That was an embrace.
Yeah,
he has more respect for Sean McDermott than he does Josh McDaniels.
I agree with Steve, and why I agree with Steve that those should be the final 4 guys. And the reason why I have McDermott ahead is Peyton has Breeze, Reed has Mahomes, and LaFleur has Rodgers. We all know what we expect from those quarterbacks. What McDermott did this year and that coaching staff with Josh Allen this year, he deserves.
I'm right there with Manny. Who expected the Bills to be ranked number 1 in the power rankings?
Dude,
right? I've never seen this before.
There's Bills Mafia content creators that thought we were going to get 8-9 wins.
Based
on the schedule.
And they're not
Steve?
business anymore.
Here's another thing. Here's another thing. I got to jump on this because I got to give myself this full screen. So here's the deal with this one too, right? I got to jump in there. The amount of people that had this team winning 8 to 9 wins and they didn't believe in it. Here's one Houston. We all looked at it. Look at the schedule. We have faced some tough teams this year.
That's true.
Fourth hardest in the NFL.
4th hardest in the NFL.
And made it look easy.
And made it look mother effing easy. So you can't tell me that this guy deserves it. I mean, I wanted to give everybody a chance to chalk, but I think Coach McDermott deserves this MVP hands down. Hand that man that trophy, and then slide that MVP trophy over to my guy Josh Allen. And then we call
pay
it
me my money.
I want to see that 35 touchdown. That's what I want to see now. Because I mean, I want to see.
You just want that tattoo.
I want to see that tattoo. I want to see that tattoo.
We all want to see that one more.
$500. $500, Mathis.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I think this was really fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this. We've been talking for 2.5 hours, and I swear we could go for more. That the chemistry's there. I mean, I feel, and I'm gonna speak for I think myself, Pierre, and the whole crew that's here. I think we have one of the best content creators out there representing Bills Mafia, giving you guys Bills content. And I'm telling you right now, BF would not be where it is today without these content creators. Whether you're writing for us, whether you're editing for us, whether you're out there at Magruders, you know what I'm saying, putting the name out there. I'm just saying, did I get the name right, Magruders? Nope. There you go. So I got to give you guys a big shout out. I mean, the whole squad. So I'm going to do a little round table. I want you guys to give your stuff. Where can they find you guys? Where's your podcast at? What day? All that good stuff. I'm going to start with the bottom with my guy, Cash Out, Cash Daddy, and my guy, Manny. You guys are side by side, so it's perfect.
Oh, it is perfect. In fact, after we get done here, we're actually going to jump back on and record our podcast because it drops tomorrow. Is that right, Manny?
Yeah.
You're better with days than me. Yeah. So it drops on Saturdays. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, all those good podcasting networks. And what's the name of our show? Buff City. Buff City. It's the name of a soap company.
I'm glad he knows.
Look, here's the thing. Clemson is coming back right now, and I need them to win by 7. And
I got the spread. I got Ohio State with the spread. So
I know. And I can't.
Judge, you're good.
I can't have Steve Mathis beating me in gambling. Like I can't have that. So yeah, just catch us every Saturday. We're out there. We're talking gambling constantly.
Absolutely. We're gonna slide it on over to Kyle Knapp. Knapp, talk to us, man. When's the podcast? What time? When can everybody find you? Hit them up.
So podcast Nap Knows Buffalo. It is out today. And by the way, I know that name right off the top of my head. Didn't have to think about it at all. So props to me. Like I'm not looking for extra credit, but
there you go.
And the mustache.
Good, yeah, and good luck mustache. So
Nap knows casting couches.
That's it. I love it.
I can't go through another name change here, Joe. Come on.
He's trying to change the name of his music as well.
So, podcast is out today. It comes out every Friday, except for the last couple weeks because of
there's your mom.
But yes, that is her.
Me and Karen
Hi, Mom.
go way back.
So, podcast is out today. Go listen, and then go ahead and listen to the Buff City podcast when that comes out. But it is out on every single podcasting platform, or just about every podcasting platform. I like to get everybody involved. So predictions, send those into me at Nap Knows Buffalo on Twitter, and you can be involved in the show too, because I like to make sure everybody's involved. It's a lot more fun that way.
If we can get Nap's mom to give us a comment and an opinion on the dirty stash, that'd be great.
She hates it. Every single person in my life hates it.
Miss Karen has been texting me nonstop, begging me to get him to shave it. So
everybody in my life wants me to shave it. I told Judge and Tilt this, but it made it into multiple life events. This stash is now on my driver's license. It made it. I forgot I had it. I forgot that I had it, and it's there now. So I have it on my driver's license. It was in one of my buddy's engagement party photos. It's in all the Christmas photos.
I love it.
It's rough, man.
You are now McLovin.
All right, let me slide it over to my man Brian. Breaking tables. Talk to us, man.
Guys, I record. Well, the holidays made it a little different, but I record directly the day after a game. So that's why I love the Sunday games. I'll record, and it drops for Tuesday mornings. It'll be live, and I just started doing a live show called the Breaking Tables, the Lull Bar, and just get guys on the show, just and hopefully some females on the road to just show their love for the team. And it's a good time that I do on Thursdays, usually around 7:00, just so I'm making sure that when I'm done, they're back over listening to Buffalo Fanatics content. And guys, it's a ride. I love it. Buffalo Fanatics, you guys are amazing. I listen to you guys for like the stats, because I'm a terrible stat guy. I just go off of, what I'm saying, what I'm feeling. And so thank you guys very much. And I look forward to working for you with you guys the rest of this year. Awesome, man.
That's good. It's good to have you, man. More content for the people, man, for the head top. Jeff Landers, Top Corner. Talk to us, man.
Where can we buy your water? Can we buy it?
DiviniaWater.com. Yeah. If you're in SoCal, it's in crap. I can't recall the name of the store.
Safely.
And y'all were making fun of me about the podcast.
Air One. It's in Air One in Southern California. Nice Divinia water glass.
Landers won't get this because he wasn't here, but Landers had to stop surfing early and put the Lamborghini in the garage so that he could join us for this podcast.
There you go.
Yeah. Before I tell you where you can find me, I don't have a bell, but for Rico and Pierre and Judge for reaching out to me. But for Rico and Pierre, I got the Bills app and a train horn here. So this is for you guys.
I like that.
All right. That's for Rico and Pierre and for everybody out at BF for bringing me on. Judge reaching out to me mid-season, bringing me on. But I'm on the BF Tailgate pregame show. I believe we're going on. My segment will start at 9 o'clock this Sunday.
11.
If I can remember. Yeah, Mountain Time. 9 o'clock Mountain Time, 11 o'clock Eastern. But BF Tailgate live pregame show right here with Buffalo Fanatics.
And that is amazing. And that BF Tailgate, I'm telling you right now, man, that is fire. That is fire. Shout out to you guys for putting that together. One of these days, I'm just going to sneak on and jump on with you guys, but that morning routine is tough, but I love it, and I'm glad, and the people love it. Like, you just had B. Sully say, the podcast and our content gets him through the week, or gets her through the week, whoever B. Sully is. So shout out to you guys. My guy, Snarky Steve. I like calling you Snarky Steve. I'm going to call you Tattoo Steve soon, man. Tattoo Steve, talk to us, man. Where can we find your content, everything that people need to know?
I'm actually going to cede my time for self-promotion because I want to give a special shout out. Steve Huber, a longtime member of Bill's Mafia. Many of you might know him from the message boards. I don't know what his name was on the message boards, but he was always a great follow on Twitter at SJHNatFan. He was one of the first listeners of our podcast. He was really one of the good ones in Bill's Mafia. He lost, unfortunately, his battle to cancer yesterday. So thoughts and prayers out to his family. Steve Huber, you will be missed. Go Bills.
I appreciate that. So that's love, Steve. And I'll let that breathe a little bit because I mean we have some tough times for tough people around, man. So
tough to follow.
Yeah, tough to follow. But you know what? We gotta head to my guy, Joe Miller.
So somehow I went from being the host of a podcast to being asked to be a part of Buffalo Fanatics, and now I host like crazy amounts of things, and it's all like that guy's fault. You can't see him, my finger. It's like that guy's fault right there. So Joe Miller, you can find me on Twitter at Joe Miller Wired. I'm the host of the Overreaction Sports Podcast, and I have a preview show that comes out before the day of every football game, Bills football game, and then an Overreaction post-game show that comes out after every Buffalo Bills football game. So you can find my podcast on this Sunday, before the Dolphins game, and then obviously on Monday for the drive to work, whether it finds you around a cup of coffee. You ready, Rico? Right?
I love that.
The commute to work.
I love it.
Or the gym with your AirPods in. Welcome into the Overreaction Podcast.
That cup of coffee gets me every time. Love it.
Also, I host the Hump Day Hotline, and I have a special guest, a half hour into the show, Clay Troya, at Clay Troya, and he's just been a wonderful sidecar. Absolutely. And been a co-host. It's been a great addition to the show. And then next week, it'll be this coming week, right? Because this is the last week of the season. So somewhere around Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you will get the last segment of the Off Tackle with John Fina show from myself and John Fina. So, and this week, tomorrow, right now, what I need everybody to do, there's still a couple hundred people up in here. If you've got a hot take for this football game of the playoffs, record it into your phone, hit voice record on your phone, email that thing to overreactionsports@gmail.com. I'll put it on the air. I'll respond to it. And this is the Bills Mafia time to shine. So,
no doubt about it. And you know what? We're gonna bring it over to my guy P Money, aka the Kingpin.
Kingpin.
Wow, man. It's I kind of got emotional inside, man, hearing you guys talk, man. I mean, seriously, man, it's a blessing just seeing all the amazing talent that wasn't discovered and now having the ability to be heard and discovered, man. It's just absolutely amazing, man. Just sitting back and just seeing all the smiles that I see right now. It's just awesome. It's just awesome, man, because all you guys are awesome. And sitting back and just seeing the maturation and just seeing the growth, especially, for Steve and Dave, because I mean, they've been here for the longest, and we've had those conversations where they're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, look, just keep on doing what you're doing, and they are killing it. All you guys are killing it, and it's just amazing, man. I love you, man.
It truly is amazing. Who knew
Pierre said I was awesome. my wife is sitting next to me and she's playing on her phone.
Somebody's got to tell you that, Casey.
Seriously, man. Seriously, because I'm not on here a lot, so I don't really talk to you guys, too often, live on air. But having the ability to do it now, just thank you. Honestly, thank you.
Thank you.
Here, you're coming
Thank
on
you.
Sunday morning. You don't have a choice. You're coming on Sunday
All right,
morning.
there you go.
fine.
All
Bet.
right,
I'm there.
all right.
I'm there.
Exactly, I'm there.
I've got a question for Casey real quick.
You can ask me anything.
You remember the Judge and Reed show?
Oh yeah, it lasted one episode, and then they canned us, and I got replaced so fast.
You guys are raw. You guys are raw.
You put me on the spot.
Yeah, for real. But I'm gonna share Pierre's sentiments, man, because it's just nice to see a variety, right? Because each and every show is completely different, right? Talk about the same topic, but everyone's got their own flair, and that is what keeps people coming back. So I've got to give a big shout out to each and every one of you guys, and it's only going to get better. And I wanted to do this specifically. I want to do it for a while, but this is the best time to do it. Bring in the new year strong. So keep that consistency going, keep that strength going, and keep that continuity going. We like this. We're going to continue to bring BF to the platform and bring everyone along with us, because there's
That's
big
what
things
it is
coming.
right there. Yep.
Big things coming from BF, and you guys don't know it, man. We're gonna bring the whole team along with us, slowly, step by brick, step by step. We'll get it done. And as for me, you guys can find me on Tuesday nights with the Rico Report. Again on Fridays on the Rico Report. Usually Friday nights people want to do stuff, but you know what? This is what I do. I love it on Friday nights. I'm a homebody anyway. And then back at it again with the post game.
Number one post game show.
That post game show is lit, and it's a testament to you guys, because guess what? The talent that we have here, I have to step my game up. You know what I'm saying? Because you guys are. It's the facts. It's the facts. I have no choice, and iron sharpens iron. That's just.
You remember how it was years ago, Rico? How you were in. We were seeing the beams in your ceilings, and it was.
I had the yellow and purple walls for Lakers in the background. I was on a bum ass little table like this. Everything was completely different.
It's awesome,
but it's great. It's nice to see. But folks, gentlemen, thank you guys. We're only the best is yet to come. We're gonna keep pushing it. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna steal a line from the Bills guys, because you should go round panel and do go Bills, go Bills. So I guess we can start from the Southern Darling on the bottom, and then we could work our way around, and then we can end it that way. All right, there's Southern Darling. It's you. You're up.
Just go Bills.
Is he talking to me?
Go
Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Super Bowl.
Go Bills.
Let's go Buffalo.
Train horn. I don't know. I'm not.
Oh, you want the
Well,
train
listen,
horn?
guys.
Huh? Oh
You
wait,
guys-
I hit the wrong button, but Bills app.
There it is.
I don't know if we can legally play more than
Cease and desist. Cease and desist.
Exactly. And last one, we're gonna give it to Pierre, and then we're gonna sign out.
It's the Kingpin, and I'm out.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. It's your boy, and we are gone. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Buffalo Fanatics proudly brings to you. Oh, I don't want to get my wrestling bag, but y'all know what it is.